that's how I got myself to the US.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was not it was not easy sailing because coming to the US is the first thing, but then navigating your way through the hardships in the US is a different thing. So
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out what to do. But then I had only one son. He was 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So fortunately for me, I'm gifted with the ability to make friends, and because I remember knowing the bus drivers, getting free rides. But the thing is, after trying so hard to come to the US, eventually the
Mm-hmm.
only reason I came was because my
Your
wife.
family was here. Your
Yeah,
wife
no,
was
no,
back
my wife, she worked for the World Bank, and then I ended up here.
mm-hmm.
It was not easy because at that time we came when people were losing jobs, like over 800,000 people losing jobs every month. It was after uh, post 2008. So 2009, people are still losing jobs monthly, like 300,000 people losing jobs. You're coming
Mm-hmm.
in from Kenya, where you're told that conversing is automatic disqualification. But in America, it matters if you know somebody and if they recommend you. So it was tough. Uh, so that's how I got here. That was 2010. So I have 2 kids, no job. Then,
Are
of
you,
course,
mm-hmm.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's an interesting story. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, 2010. It was a tough time because people are losing their houses, people are losing their jobs. Then, fortunately for me, I get to the states. One day, I'm in Fairfax, Virginia, so I go to a mall,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I meet one of my friends from high school. It's called Odero. The last
Oh,
time I
yeah.
saw him was
Was
on
it?
his
Was it?
last
Was it?
weekend in Kenya when he got his green card to come to the US.
Dan,
Yeah.
Dan, was it a coincidence that you met Odero on that mall? Did you guys arrange that you're going to meet, or it was
No,
just
no,
a
no, no, no. Actually, because the last time me and my wife, I was with Juliet in Kenya when Odero, I didn't know that was the last weekend Odero had in Kenya.
mm-hmm.
Then the next thing, I meet him at Springfield Mall. No, not Springfield. It was called Fair Oaks Mall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the last time we were in Mount Kenya, then I meet Odero.
Mm-hmm.
Then I moved to the States in 2010. We go to the mall. I meet
Mm-hmm.
Odero, and he's like, "Oh shit, you're here."
Mm-hmm.
So through him, I met some other guy called Zach. Through Zach, I met some idiot called Washira. So it was just a chain of events, unfortunate events that I wish I could have stopped from the one from the first day.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
but
you're regretting that chain
yeah,
of
I'm
events.
regretting meeting all these people because they've enriched my life in so many ways that I'm like I wish I was back in my old days. But the truth of the matter is, coming here has had its. We've had challenges, we've had successes, but the good thing is the best part of moving to the state has been the people I've met, the connections I've made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah,
my short story.
yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a story, Stan. Quite a story, Stan, coming from an humble background back in Kenya and
Yeah.
landing in the US where you didn't know anybody, and the next person you're meeting is your very close friend, Odero. By the way, Odero would have been here to tell us is part of the story, but it's an interesting story, and it captures the moment of Ubuntu, who we are as African. So this is a very unique way of meeting people. especially people from back at home. And now you are 7,890 miles away from home. Then you
Mhm.
meet somebody that you had seen somewhere in the central and in a mall, in the rarest places.
It
That,
it was the most unexpected event because the last time we were together, we were in Mount Kenya. I was with Juliet, my wife, and a few friends. But what I didn't know that was Odero's. He used to work for UAP, so they'd gone out there, and we were hiking Mount Kenya. And
Mhm.
you see somebody
And you didn't know Odero is coming to the US.
No, I didn't know. We just met. I'm
No,
like,
no,
oh
no,
shit,
no,
we met
no,
at Mount
no,
Kenya.
no, no. Why did Odero hide this thing for?
No,
I,
he was not hiding it. He was not hiding. It's just that we met there that day because he also didn't know why I'm there. Because me, I'm with Julia, and like tomorrow we go to we are trying to conquer the mountain, have a
uh-huh.
good time. So my
Mhm.
assumption is that she's also doing the same. So nobody was trying to hide anything from the other. Just that.
Oh, all right. That was quite an experience. We are joined here by Jeff Mburu. Jeff Mburu, please tell us where you are. Tell us, can you come and say hi and why your camera is off? Kindly, this is a very unique show. It is called the Friend Show. It is from Africa. Jack had earlier on told us this story. It's now your turn now to tell us who you are and where you are listening or watching us from.
No, I know him, but nothing from some.
Karibu, Jeff.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mzarendo. I'm
Mhm.
just preparing to join the show, and I'm actually enjoying the show. I have
Uh-huh.
enjoyed the story of Jack. Maybe I don't know whether today will be the best day for us to share our experiences and how we came to US and how we navigated the system until now we are able to stand and feel
Mhm.
that America is like our home now. So just give me some few minutes. I prepare myself so that I can turn on the video.
All right, Jeff. We'll give you a few minutes. Thank you so much. I know you have got quite an intriguing story, and being a pastor, you'll be able to guide us. And you have a show that is coming. This could be a jumpstart to your show that is coming to inform people of how to come to the US, how to get things right in the US, and how to meet the right people like Jack, a man of God, uh, to tell us. Please, karibu sana, make it snappy so that we continue with the program. Uh, there are some people in the background that I would like them to come to the screen. Jack, I need to see George on the screen. No, Ken. I need to see Ken, then George. Can Ken come to the screen, please? Ken, one Ken, yeah, Ken. How are you? Hey, this Eurobond man. I mean, hey, come, Ken, man, you need to. Yes, yes. Ken, please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and where you live in the US and what you do.
Okay. Thank you. Glad to be on the show. My name is Kenneth. I've been in the US for a few years, about 4 years. Of the group, I'm the youngest. I'm the freshman. So yes, I'm still learning the ropes and finding my way around. But
Mhm.
I've enjoyed here. I met the group through Stan.
Mhm.
Um, um, my I knew the wife. We worked together in South Sudan. I worked for a company that consulted for the World Bank, and she was working for the World Bank.
Mhm.
So when I came here to the US, we met up, and I knew Stan, and through him, I got to know everybody else.
Oh,
So by profession, I'm an auditor. So I look at books and compliance auditor. So I work by looking at people's books and seeing what that they've complied with what they do. Yeah. So
all
my journey in here, to be honest, I never expected to be here in the US. I was always a Kenyan man, but then circumstances brought me here, and I'm happy with those circumstances. So I can't complain, and I got some good friends. So we've gotten to know each other. They've helped me guided me around. You see. Yeah, so it's all fun, it's all good, and we usually get together and hang around. Yes,
Okay,
yes. So over back to you.
I mean, this is a very good opportunity because you, first of all, you are a man of books, a man of numbers, and every time I get to meet you, today I'm glad that you came on camera. You're always not ready to be on camera, but
Yeah,
today is a plus. Please,
I'm
before you
camera
go,
shy.
need
I'm
you
camera shy.
need you to tell us about how to make money with a bond. Please go ahead. Tell us about the bonds that you were telling us the other day.
Uh,
Briefly, just tell us.
okay, yeah, just quickly. I know a lot of people have had some concerns about the government back home, whether it will be stable, whether they'll meet their obligations. But I've always encouraged my friends to consider investing in government bonds. I've been an avid investor in them for the past couple of about probably the past 5 years, and more so the infrastructure bonds. The beauty about them is that they are tax free. And all you need with the CBK, they've made the process of getting an account very easy. You just go to their website, they have a portal, you register, upload their documents, they approve your account, and you're good to go. So you don't need any middlemen, you don't need anybody to talk to anybody. Just go online. And the last one that you saw, they asked for 70 billion, they got 288 billion in offers. And the interest rate is 18 point, I think it came to about 18.4%. So, yeah, so it's a good thing that people can do to build, especially building portfolios that you can have passive income, active income that you're not acting for actively. So for me, I've encouraged people to consider buying bonds. They can also open money market accounts and at least save money and earn interest. The thing is, don't put all your money in the bank account where you're not paid interest, and yet the opportunities to earn interest where if you don't need the money immediately, and they're safe. They're safe. Like the money market is pretty safe. Bonds, yes, you have the concerns with the government, but at least there've been some good developments with the infrastructure bond and with the bond that they floated in the US. So at least they'll meet the obligation in June, as per the current information that we have. So at least we are good to go. So
now, okay, let me ask you before you go. I want to ask you layman questions like,
yeah.
You said you go to the CBK portal, download a form, fill it in. Now, how much do you start with? What is the minimum investment that you can put in a bond, and what is the maturity period of these bonds?
Okay. So in terms of when you go to the CBK website, there's a link you'll see for a portal. So they've created a portal. There are no forms anymore. So you create a you just log into the portal. Once you click on it will take the link. It will take you to the portal. Then that's where you'll register an account on the portal. It will ask you. You'll upload all the documents that you need: your ID, your tax, KRA PIN, and your bank details. The documents you'll upload, then they'll approve, and then they'll tell you that the account is open. In terms of buying the bond, it's a minimum of 50,000 shillings. That's the lowest value you can buy as a bond. And if you buy any more units after that, it's in multiples of 50,000. So if you put the first 50,000, the next one must be it must be divisible by 50,000. So for those are for bonds. For treasury bills, I think minimum is 100,000. They might have brought it down to 50,000. I've not checked, but that's the minimum you need, at least 50,000, and that's all you need to buy the first time. They've not reintroduced the Akiba bond, the one that used to be done through the phone. I think they're still working on it.
Ken, for a layman out there, I've put 50,000 on the bonds. How much profit will I make from my 50,000?
Okay, so if you did,
and is the profit a guarantee?
Yes. So with the government bonds, as long as the government doesn't default, which they've never defaulted in Kenya, you will always receive your interest, and the interest for the bond is paid twice a year. So every 6 months, after 6 months, you receive interest. After 6 months, you receive an interest payment. Now, the amount you receive is dependent on the coupon. So like the last bond was at 18%. So if you did the last bond, then you'd get, for the 50,000, you'd get a total of 9,230, but it would be paid twice in the year. So the first payment for this bond will be in August, and the next payment will be in February. To answer the question of the duration of the bond, is it depends on what the government decides. Like this one was 8.5 years, but then some money will be paid before the 8.5 years. So, but the bonds range from 2 years up to, I think the longest the government has ever issued is 30 years. So when you see the prospectus, you decide whether you can hold your money for that duration.
But even while you are holding your money, you are earning something with that.
Yeah, they pay you interest. They pay you interest every twice a year.
So instead of people having millions in the bank, that is earning very little interest, they should put your money or look for Ken, so that you can earn some interest with that money by investing on treasury bills, investing on bonds, and they mature quite fast. So instead of holding some 100,000 or 200,000 in the bank, or 50,000, that you're doing a bit of nothing, or investing it on a farm that probably is not very productive, you need to invest it on these bonds. And this is why we have Afrique 24. We have got these people who are professionals. They will guide you on issues like the treasury bonds. They are our friends. We will invite Ken one of these fine days to come and explain to us exactly what really happens with the bonds. So Ken, asante sana for that brief intro to the bond market. We hope that you will come again and tell us more about the investments in the treasury bills and the bonds in Kenya. And people out there who are pessimistic about treasury bills, like I was pessimistic. You remember how I was asking you questions. I didn't just dive in, but it is something that I am really interested in, and we look forward to putting our money in those bonds in Kenya. So please, viewers, get in touch with Afrique. Our email, I'll put it out there so that you can have our email address. And if you want to get in touch with Ken, please give us a shout on our email, Afrique d24hours@gmail.com. Give us your information. We will pass it to Ken. Ken will guide you. And of course, sometimes we'll do it for free, sometimes at a fee. So karibu sana, hata fee mtapatiwa msaada na huyu jamaa anaitwa Ken. Ken is very, very vast in issues of finance, and you will not go wrong. I've known Ken for a long time. Otherwise, asante sana. I need George now.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We'll get you back if there are more questions. George Bolo. You tell us who you are and
Well, I need to first of all check, but I think my correct names are George Bolo.
Yes.
I'm from Kenya, Nyanza.
Where in Nyanza?
Kano Kobura moved to Muhoroni,
Mm-hmm.
but now I'm here with these animals.
You're with these animals. Why are you calling your friends reptiles and animals?
Yes, and you know, I should have been the first one to speak. I should have been the first one to speak because right now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when you go to church and somebody says, you said you're born again, and then people start giving testimonies. One person says they dropped into a pit latrine this feet deep. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
then the other person says they were in an earthquake, and then you're like, yeah, I'm born again, but nothing. Yeah, they already took everything.
Mm-hmm.
They already took everything, including the things that I could lie about.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm friends with these guys. These guys are my family,
Mm-hmm.
and we can meet any other day that any one of us is free.
All
Um,
right. George, that's quite interesting. How the friendship between different cultures. Viewers, the most important thing about this friendship is that it is so diverse. We have Kikuyus, Kikuyus, Luos, Luyas, Kambas in this friendship. And
it is it is
yes,
the person. It is the person, not the tribe or the community.
yes. So I mean, I bring the issue of tribe because in back in our country, Kenya, people really think on tribal lines. George,
Yes.
can you tell me you are one of the people who politically think on tribal lines? And
Wait. Let me call the sergeant at arms first of all. Eh, point of order. You need to shut up. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
point of order. Okay, George, back to you. We are talking about this diversity.
Yeah.
Friends from different tribes meeting, and they don't even they didn't even know each other in the first place, and they
Mm.
don't look at themselves as Kamba, Luo, Kikuyu. How come our politics is very very tribal? How come our appointments are very very tribal back at home in Kenya? I mean, hmm?
Well, you see, the people who came before us, that's what they told us. They told us that these people are bad, these people are good. Yet the son of that person is my son's best friend.
Mm-hmm,
They play together.
mm-hmm.
And I cannot tell my son that, hey, those people are bad. He will ask me, oh, I haven't seen that. Yeah,
No.
so it's just an inheritance, but it's an inheritance that is disappearing.
Somebody in the comment section is asking whether you are married.
Well, um, it's complicated.
All right, maybe have the next cue. This is too complicated for
give,
judges.
give that person my number. I am.
Good morning, wherever you are. Good year, thank you for joining us in the studio. I don't know what time you sleep. Good year, but thank you for being part of the Afric family. We love you so much. Thank you, kabisa kabisa. Uh, okay, Nick, when it comes to friendship and marriage, there is no tribal, but with politics, there is tribe. Oh, Goodyear is saying that when it comes to friendship, there's no tribe. But when it comes to politics, then we become a tribal.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because I
yeah,
am, yeah, Goodyear, you are so right.
just tell them we can
You,
discuss that on the side so that we continue with it. Yeah, tell them we can discuss that on the side, and feel free to share my number. But for now, we had a purpose. We had a purpose. We had a topic to discuss.
all right, George, I'll make sure that I share your number privately to
Thank
that
you.
beautiful lady that is asking whether George is married. George is very single, hunting. Is hunting, and that is why I asked for your private number. So ukiwa ukiwa unatafuta kamutu kako hapa kanaitwa George Moroni. Mr. Mandevu. By the way, George prepares the best managu. George prepares the best managu. So if you're a lady, the best managu and the best mboga za kienyeji hapa America, George knows how to ferment those things and to cook them. So you really have to be up in your game to be George's girlfriend or to be married to George. Anapenda mambo ya chakula ya kienyeji.
it's
Sijachoma sana, but huo ni George, my friend. Now
it,
I think we have got the one and only, the chairman of Mungiki, Washington DC, in quotes, chairman of Mungiki. Where is he, Mr. Washira?
Mungiki ako hapa.
Mungich.
Yes, Washira here.
Yeah, Washira here.
My name is Johnson Washira Gadombe. I prefer being called Washira.
Yes.
Yeah, an IT auditor, anti-security expert, and doing a lot of things. I mean, from here, from the US to the UK to Kenya. So, I mean, the thing I would want to say is these are friends that we have worked together, and we're working together for so many things. So one thing I would want to mention is, yeah, if you have anything about IT security, IT audit, please holler me. Yeah, because me and Stan and me, Stan and Ken will be there.
Okay.
George,
Just go
yeah,
on. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So beyond that, I'm so glad to be part of this group. And unless there's any other question, I just wanted to just explain myself.
All right. Thank you, Washira. Washira is an IT expert. If you've got question, if you've got things that you want to know in IT, and you are in Kenya and you are in the US or somewhere in Europe, you can get in touch with Washira. I have put our email out.
Okay. There's someone else here. Okay, you know what, Nick?
Yes.
Can you allow somebody else here? Can I represent her?
No, I need her to come on the screen. I need her to come on the
No, she
screen.
refused to come on the screen.
All right. You want to represent her?
I want to represent her. She's called Ananganga Washira.
Who is Ananganga Washira?
That's my wife.
Your wife, Ananganga Washira.
Yeah, she does IT audit and IT security too.
Yes.
Yeah, in case of anything that we need to work on in terms of projects, let us know.
Oh, that is Anna. Okay, viewers out there, Washira has told you the family is involved in IT, the wife, the children, and himself. I don't know whether the dad is also an IT expert. I think they must have been It must have been in the genes, and it must have been in the genes.
Thanks.
Hey, Han, there's somebody who has said hi on the comment section.
Mhm.
Hi, and welcome to Afrik. They're asking whether Anne has subscribed to Afrik.
Okay.
A Goodia is saying hi and welcome to Afrik. As you can see, people
Okay.
love you so much already. Subscribe to
Sure.
Afrik and make sure you are part of the family. The funny thing and the most interesting bit, I want to share this because Washira has become family too, is that every time when we were doing tracking, the only house that we could crash on the sofa set is Washira's house. So Washira's house has been a destination for so many of us that
Thank you.
live here in the US. That is
Thank
the
you.
place that we crash. That is the
Hmm.
place that we feel at home each and
Hmm.
every time that you are in
Yeah.
Alexandria. If you want
Hmm.
to have human beings, people who love you unconditionally, then Anne Washira will welcome you to their home any day in
Correct.
Alexandria.
Correct.
Mkaribieni sana, hao ni Wakenya wazuri sana, tena ni watu wanapenda Mungu na wanatupenda zaidi zaidi. I
Mm.
think we were talking about our connections. We got our connections right. We've
Hmm.
been friends for quite some time here in the US. We have
Hmm.
got our ups and downs. What can you advise people who want to come to the US? Pengine people out there wanajua, hey, hawa watu wa US wanasikia raha. Sahii some people in Kenya say hawa wamekuja kujisikia ati hao wanakaa US na nini. Hebu waambie kidogo tu maisha ya hapa Marekani inakaa namna gani?
So Nick, I hope I'm the one who is on the podium here because I mean I'm gonna tell people. I mean, don't think America is it's a rose. You're gonna come here a bed of roses. That's what they call it. Yeah, mazee, utakuja hapa utakosa job, ujue ni kubaya. That one I'm gonna tell you because it doesn't happen. And then if you get a job, then you're gonna get a job of how much? You're gonna get a job of, let's say, $14. And not $14 is a lot of money in Kenya. Yes, but then how long? How much are you gonna withstand with the $14 paying 1,400, 1,500 rent, and then you have bills to pay? So it's a this abusive relationship because I've seen it. People who telling people that you're gonna get money here. It doesn't work. Kuja hapa ufanye kazi iko na akili. Stop paying too much money when you're being lied to. Utakuja kupata unless you get here with a job that's like 50K, 50,000. That's what I mean. Then you're heading nowhere. Yeah, Stan can say that better. Yeah, let Stan say this better.
Stano come on the screen. Meanwhile, Mburu has also joined us. Stan.
Yeah, yeah. Stan and Jack and Ken can say this better than I can do.
All right, can Stano come please on the
Yeah,
screen?
Stan is here. No, the chat, I can't get it. Yeah.
Stano. Hey, meanwhile, Mburu, how have you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, Stan.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah. We are joined here by one Mburu was not here with us when we were beginning the show. We wanted to know the experiences of life.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Stan. Nick's friend, but first time caller. You know the way they say. They say first time caller, all time listener.
Yeah, Jack and Stan. I especially Stan. I want you to tell our viewers out there who are probably planning to come to the US of the experiences here in the US. Is the American dream real? The
Hell
American
no.
dream?
No.
Hell no. Jack, go fast there. You are so fast on that.
Is the American dream
real?
really?
No. You go ahead. You've given the first response.
I want. No, I mean the way I look at the American dream is just like I look at it as like modern day slavery. You know how in the beginning they came and forced us to this country, but now it's through manipulation. Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is. It's nothing real over here. It's just a bunch of smoke screen, and it's the land of the free. I mean, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. We can be in a way worse situation, but once you grow up and you start seeing through the smoke screen, you start to see that it just all a bunch of manipulation tactic. They get you here, and then especially when you black, they get you here, they turn you into a Kobe Bryant or Mike Tyson or Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson or Prince. They make money off of you, and then once they are done with you, they're done with you. So instead of us, using the talent, the knowledge that we have to empower the African continent, that's what they don't want to see. And we can do all of that over there. But, and one thing about me, I'm not somebody that, I love people that think they use their mind, and I know it's going to sound evil and it's not going to sound right. But I really admire people that can use that to manipulate people to get what they want. But everything that America is doing right now, we can do it in the continent of Africa. But they have studied us. And one thing about America that I have watched them and studied them, they know that black people, we are very emotional, and they know how to sway us. They know how to move us. So I won't really say this is like, at my age right now, I really don't want to say like, oh yeah, this is the land of opportunity, because trust you me, wherever you at right now, you can be in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, South Africa. Everything you can do here, you can do there. But they know how to sway you here because they have an agenda. So whatever that you can do in Africa, trust me, you can do here. So don't fall into the matrix. Don't fall into that. Don't fall into that trap. I know you've heard at all. That's all I have to say.
All right, Stan, unless you have got anything to add on that, before I allow Mr. Mburu, who has been waiting patiently. Mburu, go ahead.
Hey, you got something to say?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Fine.
I'm fine, thank you, Mburu.
Yes, sir. How are you, Mr. Jack?
Yes, sir.
I'm glad to see you here and your comrades there.
Oh yeah, Miss Boo. I don't know. Is this you've been dying to talk to me?
Yeah.
That guy right there.
This is the pastor who is your friend, and
yeah. We need to do a show. We need to do a show.
Yeah, he's always been looking up to you so that you can do a show together. But yeah, you need to talk about it right now.
We will organize about that because I want us to be having a biblical discussion in Africa 24. And Africa has opened the doors for us to spread the gospel, which is a good thing. So I'll call you. I'll get in touch with you so that we can have a plan on how we can go about it.
Most definitely.
Yes. Nick, can you tell me what you want me to talk about? Because as I said, pastors have so many
All
things they
right,
can talk.
all right. Just hold on a second before I give you a chance to speak. Jack,
Yes,
Jack,
sir.
this is something that probably we will discuss on the side, and you need to think through it maybe tonight. Um, you've been doing a very unique kind of ministry in the U.S., ministering in each and every prison and rehabilitating prisoners in the U.S. Um, is there a possibility that we can have a show with one of the people that was in prison and got out of prison, and we can have a conversation so that they can tell us their experience in prison and how you turned their life around? Is there that kind of person? Did you get my question? Is there that kind of person that we can do an interview? The people that you've been talking to in the prisons in the US, is there somebody that we can talk to and tell us their story and how they got into prison in the US and how they came out of prison in the US? Is it
Well,
possible?
yeah. One thing I would say is that I want everybody to know that whenever I mention the prison ministry, you have to understand that I was dealing with federal prison, and a federal prison they operate different than the state prison. A state prison, if I give you 50 years, chances are you might get out in 10 years. Federal prison, when you get sentenced to 80 years, you're doing 80 years. You understand what I'm saying? So
Wow.
a lot of the men that I was dealing with when I was a part of the prison ministry through Crossroads Baptist Church, a lot of them they were convicted. And one thing about the federals, when you are under a federal investigation in America, when the federals come after you, chances are they have a lot of evidence against you, and there's no way of you getting out. So I was never dealing with state prisoners. State prisoners, there's a 50-50
Okay,
chance.
Freddy, what you have?
What?
Mm-hmm. Go on. Hey, Stan,
Freddy,
go
go
on.
on.
Mhm.
All right. So I was saying that, with the state, there's
The 50-50 chance you're talking about.
yeah. From the state, 50-50 chance you might, I don't know what just happened. Did I need to cut somebody out? Okay. All right. So from the state, it's 50-50 chance that you might get out. But a lot of the guys that I'm dealing with, these guys were facing federal, and one thing about when the feds come after you in the United States, either you're going to plead and accept a lesser chance. And a lot of times, a lot of these guys, they go in and, oh, we're going with I'm taking my case to trial. So a lot of times they take their case to trial, and the maximum of the sentence is what they get.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah. So
that's a very,
yeah.
that's
So
a,
I wish you. So if you ever you have the link to my podcast, right?
yes.
If you go on my podcast, I did a podcast with one of the deputies who I actually became very close with. And if you go on that episode, I
Mhm.
get into detail into a lot of that.
All right, we will share your podcast link to many of our viewers and listeners out there. They can check your podcast on on uh, on the internet. Is it on YouTube? Y-
It's
Or
on Podbean. You follow
yes,
me
on
on that.
Pavi. It's
So
on
yeah,
Pavi.
it's on Podbean.
It's on Pavi. So we
I,
will
I don't
share.
know. Can I share it through here?
Yeah, you can share it through. You can share it through the comment section. Share it through the comment section, so
Okay.
that you can have it around. Hey, Mburu, at this point, let me invite Pastor Mburu, who is joining in very late. I know you're from work, Mburu. You look very,
Yeah,
very, very,
actually,
very
mhm.
tired. Mm.
Yeah, I was sleeping. That's why I look sleepy. Yesterday, I didn't intend to work many hours, but something happened that I had to work overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So I left in the morning, and I was supposed to go back to to the day shift. So I came at around 6:30. That's when I slept. Then at 12, I had to leave to go back to work. So you can imagine. So by the time I was leaving work, I was worn out. I was exhausted. So that's why I look tired. But the good thing today, I'm not going to. Is it when is? Let me see. What's the time? Yeah, today is Sunday already.
No, yeah, today is already Sunday. We are at
Yeah.
2:20. We are remaining with a few more minutes to wind up this particular session.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
Mburu, we were talking about our experiences in the US. Some people shared how they got here. People have shared the difficult things in life here in the US. Back at home, everybody wants to come to America. Everybody wants to chase that dream. When you tell people about the US, they are like when I was back in Kenya, if you had told me anything negative about America, I would not believe. I would say that probably you don't want to help me or something. But today we are with a Ghanaian who is from all the way in West Africa. We are with the Kenyans here who are telling us their experiences in America. We are also privileged to have people who are professionals in different fields telling us what they do, what expertise they have, and how they can help our brothers and sisters out there if they had any problem in IT sector, in investment. And this is what Africa is all about. So Mburu, without delaying further, can you please tell us your story and share it among our comrades here? Because now you're already a comrade. If Jack knows you, know that you are in.
Yeah, I know. I'm already in the show. What I can say is that one, America, without doubt, is a great country, and it's not easy to come to America. Those of us who have made it to be here should not never take it for granted. As you have said, there are many ways in which you can come to America, and I intend to be bringing a show on immigration, not just to America, but also to other countries that can offer what we call greener pasture to the people who feel that they are not doing very well in Africa or in other parts of the world. Mr. Mzarendo, when I look at the world, I see the world as one. And I believe that the whole world, when God created the world as one country. So I tend to look at the world as one entity, as one place, because our Father, our God, is the same and is the creator, and he owns the world. And when you have that kind of mentality, then you are able to say, I can live anywhere, so long as that place can give me a better opportunity than the one I am having. I would first of all say people immigrate from one place to another because of various reasons. There are those who immigrate because they are in a mission of God, like myself. As a pastor, I have been to different countries. So the reason why I move from one place to the other is to majorly to spread the gospel. As much as it's also good to live well, my objective has always been to go and touch people's lives. I don't know where to start because mine has been a journey. Mzarendo, the first time I wanted to come to America was 2000, the year I think 2001. But I came in America in 2016. That is 15 years after. That the first time that my sister, I have a sister, a very lovely sister here who really wanted me to come. So in 2000, I was still in secondary school, and that's when she started my process for me to come to join her to US. but I felt that like there was some kind of strife. You know, brothers sometimes I have a brother who is almost like my twin brother. He didn't want me to go, and he was telling the mother, my mom, that I should be the one because I'm the elder. I should be the one to go first. So you people try for me first. And there was that kind of brothers striving and competing who is going first. So I said, it's well, let my brother first go to America. Then afterward, I will go. So I didn't pursue that coming in 2001. Then again, in I think 205 there, 206, my sister again wanted me to come, but God told me it is not yet time. Sometimes patience is very important. Maybe I would have gone to the embassy and be denied the visa. Then in 2013, I know many people don't believe in visions and dreams. In 2013, I had a dream, I had a vision that I was in America and I saw how people lived. I walked on the streets of America, and then I saw a bunch of key on the road, which I took, and I was asking people on the street, do you know the owner of these keys? And nobody said they are mine. They were their keys. So I said, if nobody owns them, then they are my key. Then I came out of the dream. I told somebody in the morning, I was in America in a vision, and I saw how America looks like, and I was given a key. And I interpreted the dream to mean that God has opened the door for me now to go. I know many people who are spiritual, they will tell you that there is another way in which you can know the will of God. It's not just, things are not just physical. Those who follow spiritual things, they know when to do what. So for me, I was stopped coming like 3 times before now, the time when God said, now you can go. So the last dream is what I have shared. So before I had interaction with my God, and the way we communicate with my God telling me it is not time. I would try, I would process, I would get the documents and prepare everything, but I would have a vision or a dream telling me it's not yet time. So I told somebody in the morning, that is 2013, that if I go to the embassy today, I'll get a visa. And then after that, I forgot about it because I wasn't prepared to come to US by then. I was not actually so much interested like when I was in high school or in the university. I really wanted to come when I was younger. I'm still young, but there was a time I really felt like I should go to America. So in 2016 is when I got the conviction that truly now it is time to move. And I wasn't having a visa. I wasn't having a green card. I wasn't having an invitation. But there is the way I felt God want me to be in America. So what I did, I told my family, I am going to America. I closed my business. And my mother was like, do you have a green card? No. What do you have? Is it an invitation that you have? I told her, no. What do you have? I told her, God said that I should go to the embassy. And if I go, I'll get a visa. It's very interesting. My mother told me, my mother used to live here some time back. She stayed in America for like 10 years. She told me, you think it's easy to get a visa to America? She told me, don't put your mind there. You will go to the embassy. You'll be denied the visa, and you fall down there with panic. I told her, but God spoke about it. So I am sure I'll get it. So I prepared myself as somebody who was very sure that I was going. And I don't want people to do like that, because I did that because there is the way I had my own personal communication with God. So when I went there, when I went to the embassy, they only asked me 2 questions. They asked me, where are you going and what are you going to do? Those are the only questions they asked me, and I was given the visa. Then I came to America. when I came to America, America is not very easy, especially if you were not doing this kind of hustling jobs. If you were doing white collar jobs and you come to America, you are likely to not to know where to start. America is not very easy country to navigate. Sometimes you don't know where to start. So I came here and I stayed in my sister's house for several months, not knowing exactly where to start, whether to start preaching. Okay, I was going to church and I was still preaching in the church. There were some people who were telling me not to look for jobs because I'm a pastor, I can preach and all, so many things. I didn't know where to start. And then you even don't know where to get a job. And I hate, Mr. Mzarendo, I hate staying at home. I hate staying without doing something. I believe in working for myself. So the first job, Mzarendo, that I got, I got a job from a Mwindi shop. And you know, sometimes Indians are good people, but they don't pay well, even when they have a big business. So I told my sister, I can, because after staying almost 2 or 3 months without doing anything, without knowing where to start, I told my sister, I can do anything. I can do anything to get at least some money. So that Mwindi accepted to give me a job. But do you know, it was in a shop, just to arrange things in the shop and all that. Do you know how much I was getting paid? I think I was working 4 hours. And in those 4 hours, he was paying me $20.
So he was paying you $5 an hour.
So he was paying me $5 an hour.
Oh,
This is the time now when I feel, you know, okay, I wasn't paying anything because I was living in my sister's house and my sister was providing food and I wasn't paying anything. So it was good money instead of staying in the house. And then I would send all the money to my family back home. At least every week I would get $100. And I don't feel bad. Okay, it's not good. That was a misuse. That was a misuse, but at least it was better than staying in the house. Then from there, the people in the church where I was going, they were so gracious that I didn't struggle so much to settle, especially when you are a pastor and you know how to interact with people. I can say for sure, people came through for me and they really helped me. Some people would bring chairs, others cups, others saucepans. Within no time, my house was full. I got everything from the community, St. Louis community. And I really appreciate also the church of Covenant Church where I was going, because they really supported me through Pastor Paul. He's called Pastor Paul, and the whole community supported me. So I didn't struggle. Mr. Mzarendo, even the car I was driving by then, I was given by one of the friends or one of the people I came to know through the church. So people in St. Louis are good people. That's what I can say. But now the big hassle was, what kind of job should I do? I saw the kind of jobs people do in America. You know, most people don't know, especially in Kenya. They think, oh, in America, people get money. Huko ni pesa tu, ni kuenda ni kama kuokota. That's why when you send somebody some money and they feel you haven't sent enough money, they feel like you are not generous, because they believe in America people have a lot of money, but they don't know the kind of jobs people do to get those to get money, and how many hours we work to get money. So the fact that I was in Kenya, I was not doing the hustling job, or I was a professional. I was working as a professional, but now here is to a larger extent they were not recognizing my documents. You have to go through a rigorous process before now you can get a similar job to what you were doing back in your country. So, and that one becomes a serious crisis in mind, that you don't know where to start. You used to work in the office, but now here, most Kenyans are working in nursing homes. if not nursing homes, most men are drivers, truck drivers, and you don't even have license, and you don't know where to start. So that was the big problem that I had. Now to agree that for sure I am not going to be working in office, lazima niingie kwa uwanja, and I struggle and I hustle just like any other person. That was the greatest fight that was in my mind and in my heart. At a point I was like, I wish I stayed in Kenya. But then Mzalendo, by the grace of God, my sister talked to me about the transport business, which they were doing also with her husband, and they introduced me. And through her, I was able to get my truck. And the funny thing, because I was not having much experience, within no time I had done driving, I went to the road with the truck, and I wasn't having experience. You know, people think when people ask you about experience, how many years experience do you have? They think it's just driving. Driving requires a lot of experience. When you go to ask for a job, and people ask you the experience, sometimes people don't understand for what. You might ask, why are they asking me how many years I have worked before? It is because of the things you know, or the challenges you have faced, and you have been able to tackle them. So one day, I went to Chicago. This is my truck, and the GPS, the truck GPS failed to work. And so I decided, sometimes people, and I want to tell people, the truck drivers or anybody who is planning to be driving a truck, always use the truck GPS. So my truck GPS, I wanted to go to the gas station, to the Love's gas station, but the truck GPS was taking me to a certain school. So I said, let me use the phone GPS. So the phone GPS is meant for a small car. The app that I had in my
phone.
Now you can imagine, I never thought of the low bridge where the truck cannot fit. So Mzalendo, you can imagine, I passed through the first. There are so many bridges in Chicago. I passed through the first
I
bridge,
know them.
the second bridge, and I thought it's obvious. All these the constructors, the road constructors, they had in mind the size of vehicles when they are building these bridges and all that. So I never thought something can happen. So when I was going to pass through the third bridge, let me tell you, the bang! I hit the bridge, and my truck was divided into two.
What?
And the body was scattered all over. So it was such an experience.
Sorry for that, man.
So I was there stranded, not knowing what to do. But anyway, I was able to navigate through. And today I am an expert. I have driven to each and every state of America. I was a truck driver for almost 6 years. I was a truck driver for almost 6 years. But now I have changed from that to some other things. So America is not very easy, especially when it comes to settling down. And the struggle, and I want to talk to those people who would wish to come to America, that you have to set your mind exactly that when I go there, I can do any kind of a job, because that becomes the greatest problem. Whether you are a teacher, just know you can come here and you go to nursing home. You start working for those elderly people there. You can you can become a truck driver, or you can do any other job that will give you money. So because that is one of the conflict that comes in your mind. If you are a teacher, if you are a pastor, if you are a professional working in the office, when you come here, you struggle to adapt or to to change, the resistance to change. People want to remain in the same level. Mimi nilikuwa manager, so I want to remain a manager. For me, maybe you were holding a high position. You want to remain. People get stuck to their levels and all that. So that is one of the struggle that I went through. But apart from that, I can say that America, even when you are struggling, you struggle, but when you look ahead, you see there is light. And I know, Mzalendo, you can attest to that when you look ahead, when you're planning yourself, you are able to know, I can move from point A, point B, and finally I'll be somewhere. And those are the opportunities that we don't have back home. So it is, you come here with the mindset of, I am going to work very hard. I am not going to choose the jobs I'll be doing, but I'll have a plan on how I will fit in the system. So sometimes it takes so long before you can fit in the system. Your people back home might even start wondering what kind of a person you are. Others you say you are useless. Others you say you have become proud. So many things. But when you plan yourself very well and you are able to adapt to the system of America, America is a very good place which accommodates all people. There is no much discrimination like I hear from maybe other countries. I haven't gone through such. I haven't seen, maybe Mzaredo, you can tell us about discrimination. But Kenyans, we are able to fit in America very well. There are some challenges, yes, we go through, like the language barrier. Their English is not our English. Sometimes you go to the restaurant, you don't know what to ask. They talk to you, you don't understand what they are asking, especially when you are new. You can even sleep hungry because of language barrier sometimes. So, yeah, so many things, Mr. Muzarendo.
All right, thank you for that story. I remember when you talk about tracking, most of us have also done tracking for some time, and we still continue doing it on the side. I remember the first time, just as you said, you get really bored in the house that you want to do something. You are lucky that in 2 months or 3 months you got to do something. I remember the first time I came here, I stayed in the house for 8 months without being able to do something. You don't have a work permit, you can't go to work, you can't do anything. I went back to Kenya. I actually went back to Kenya. I saw that this is absolute nonsense. I mean, 8 good months I've been waiting for this funny
Yeah, you
document.
can imagine.
Yeah, that is called a work permit, and I can't get it, and I can't get anybody around. I had to go back to my country. But funnily, when I came back, yes, the document had come, and there were so many jobs that I was going to do. A friend of mine and my cousin who is in Georgia, we were having a conversation, and I'm telling him, I've been staying at home for so long. Can you hook me up with a job? I can even come to Georgia. There are no jobs here. Then he tells me, yes, I've got a friend who is a Kenyan who is doing tracking. His name is Paul. Paul, yes, let me hook you up with Paul. So we get in a conference call with this lady who knows Paul. My cousin doesn't know Paul. The other lady who knows my cousin is the one who knows Paul. So we are 4 people in a conference call. And we are like, okay, you're Nick? Yes. Me, you can drive a truck? Yeah. You've driven a truck before? I just said yes, I have, but I had never driven a truck before in America. So Paul tells me, hey, do this. Get the evening bus to Atlanta from Maryland to Atlanta, and meet me at around 3 a.m. in the morning. I hop into a bus, midnight bus, Mimi Uyo, headed to Atlanta. Atlanta, I arrive at the bus stop, and let me tell you, the buses here are so uncomfortable. Not from the way we see Kenyan buses are so comfortable. The buses from Mombasa to Nairobi, you can't compare it with the buses here. Buses here are not comfortable at all, at all. So I get to Atlanta, I was so tired in that bus. So I meet Paul, we greet each other. Sisi ni wa Kenya. Hey, vipi ya mambo, ingia hapo. The funny thing that hit me in the US is that inside this truck, tuko hapa ndani, he has got some containers. Zile namuuliza hizi container ni za nini? Kumbe hizo container ni za kukojoa. Yeah. Boss, okay, so hii hauwezi kojoa hapa Amerika, mtu hawezi pack tu kwa bush namna hii.
Oh, in Kenya, the way we do it in Kenya, you just park the truck and you start by the roadside and
haraka. Hapa kama choo iko mbali because the gas station maybe Labs or Sunoco is quite away. So some distance. So huyo kitu ndio anakojoa hapo, anaweka kando, anakojoa, akifika kwa the next truck stop unaenda unamwaga. So watu wa Kenya hajui hivi mambo kama hayo. So unaenda unamwaga, ukishaenda unamwaga ndio unarudi. Sasa jamaa tukarudi, tumechukua mzigo up and down the set. Sasa tukarudi nyumbani. Kurudi nyumbani ile tu sasa wacha nikae kidogo nini. After hata hatujapumzika, after a few hours ameniambia kuna mzigo hapa, hii ni ya karibu, hii ni ya kutoka tu hapa airport, Dallas airport, you to inaenda wapi? Ilikuwa inaenda it was from Dallas to Silver Spring. Yeah, Silver Spring. It was from Dallas to Silver Spring. So I've got this load, which is from Dallas to Silver Spring. And Paul has given me this load. Tells me, yeah, you do it very, very fast. I know this one you can, it's some good money. So here I am, heading to the airport. I pick the mzigo. Once I get lost, I have never driven in American road. Once I so carefully, yeah, na GPS.
Oh my God!
And you know the first stop ni wapi? Airport.
I'll tell you a story which has come in my mind.
Airport. Nikaingia airport, back truck up kidogo, nikapakia mzigo. It was a box truck. Kupaka mzigo haraka hivi ndio mimi huyo GPS nikaweka, naelekea kudrop mzigo. Kwanza nikapotea almost for 1 hour, yani niko tu area moja na sijui vile ndaingia. Nikapaka, eventually nikapata mahali ya kuweka mzigo. Mburu, kutoka hapo kurudi nyumbani was such a problem. Nikachukua truck, mimi ndio huyo nimeshaweka direction ya kuja home. I don't know whether I was using a GPS or not, but I made the wrong turn somewhere. Mimi huyo naenda bwana, nashindwa, leo how come yani safari imekuwa refu hivi? 2 hours, 3 hours down the road, the guy is calling me, uko wapi bwana? Hebu nipatie location yako, where are you? Bana namwambia mimi I'm heading north, nakuja nyumbani. I'm heading south, I'm coming home. Kumbe I'm heading south the wrong direction. I'm heading south the wrong direction. I'm heading to Winchester instead of coming to Fredericksburg. I am going, and then I am seeing that now I'm heading to the countryside and we live in the city. Where am I going? So I stopped this truck because I'm also running low on fuel. I stopped the truck. Now Paul is on my case. He's mad. I am also mad. I am also mad on the roadside. I don't even know where I'm going. I am so stranded. Nikasema, I told him, you know what? I am leaving this truck here. I am not going anywhere with it because I even don't know where I am at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know where I am. This truck is taking me around. He's telling me, you have gone to almost 200 miles away from home. Where are you going to? Ndio nikaweka address nikarudi nyumbani. And let me tell you, those are the experiences that you get here in
You know
America.
what I did, eh? You know what I did? There was a guy who was training me. After I worked for Mwindi for like 1 month. I got tired because he wasn't paying me actually, because you can imagine $5 for 4 hours. He was paying me $5 for 4 hours. Not $5. I mean $5 for 1 hour. So per day I was making $20. Then from there, the other job I got was in Candleswood. It's a kind of a motel where I was folding the bed sheets and all that kind of things, and I wasn't earning a lot of money. And then from there, somebody talked to me about now the truck, and there was this guy who was training me to drive the truck in America called Eric. I went with Eric for like 3 weeks, not even 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Then I told him, I don't see anything. You are training me just driving, because I was driving. He would just be there seated, and I would drive many hours. And I thought, I think it's okay. I can drive by myself. So I talked to the company which he was working for, and I told them, for me, I think I'm okay. I don't have to be going with anyone else, because when you are there as a trainee, remember, you are not getting paid, or even if you get paid, is something very little just to sustain yourself or just for food.
Mhm.
Well, they told me, are you sure you can drive? It's like they also desperate. They needed a driver. So they told me, come and pick a truck. Next week, you are going to be alone on the road. So I went, they gave me a truck. Do you know, from St. Louis, do you know where the road was going?
Mm-mm.
I was supposed to take it to Washington, D.C. You can imagine, from St. Louis, maybe you can check from St. Louis to Washington, D.C. is over 10 hours or 12 hours drive. And this is the first time. So what happened? When I was on the highway, I drove throughout the night. I really tried. I drove throughout the night. But when I was in Washington, D.C., on the highway, and you know, Washington is also congested, somehow almost more than Nairobi. And there are so many cars parked besides the road. And now
Oh
here
yeah,
you
yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
the,
I
the
know.
road is very
And the
narrow.
lights,
Where
and
you are
the
passing
lights,
the
and
truck,
the
man.
lights, and the lights.
Exactly. Now, when I was on the highway, I was supposed to take that cargo to the university. When I was on the highway, the GPS said, you have arrived on the highway. So I parked the truck beside the road, and I was like, now, and the moment the GPS tells you you have arrived, you have no choice. You have nowhere to go, because that is what I was following.
Uh-huh.
So I had now to figure out. I said it must be around here.
Mhm.
Musareno, I got lost for almost 5 hours looking for where to go. So
I
finally, I saw the place. I was directed by, I think, a police officer, and I saw the university. And I was already exhausted, tired. This was my first time. So what I did, I went to the reception. I told them that I have their goods, and they should come and see what I have, so that they direct me where to offload them. So the guy told me, how heavy is it? So I told him there is one big pallet, and it has a box which is tied to it on the top. So he told me, I just go get the box and bring it. They don't have to come to the truck. So I said, oh, this America, why do they have to put a huge pallet for this small box? So I went, I removed the small box, and I brought to the reception. And he signed the document that he has received. So I went to then I got another load, I think going to Virginia or something like that. So to the company where I was picking the other load, I told them, I don't need this pallet. Please put it outside so that you can do the loading. I didn't know. What I didn't know is that this pallet was the actual thing that I was supposed to deliver. Inside the pallet were university seats that were arranged inside, right, which were worth over $10,000 or more. You can imagine. So I offloaded the wrong.
Is the wrong item.
Okay,
And the
now
person who signed
so
also signed that.
the other company where I was picking the load, they told me, "Oh, you don't need this one." I told them, "Yeah, just remove it so that you can put your things inside." So they removed it. They put it in their whatever in their go down, and they put some other things. After 1 week, I got a call from the company. Now tell us what happened to
the good.
to our load. We gave you this load on this and this company on this date. What happened? Because the company, the university cannot see their goods. How I had now to start thinking about what happened. I told them, I remember very well, I took the box to them and they signed it. I have the document. They told me, take a picture and send the document. Oh, they said it is sent. But now, what about, you said you removed the box and you gave them the box. What about the parrot, the bigger parrot which was there? I told them I had to drop it in the other company because it was just there in the truck. It was not doing anything and I never needed. They told me, do you know that was the real luggage? That was the real load which you were taking to the university. They told me those seats are worth over 10,000. So can you tell us the company which offloaded? Now I had now to start trying to remember. So anyway, that's what is called experience. Anyway, finally it was found and I was deducted some money. I was not paid for that one. So you can imagine all those things.
Oh,
so
that is sad.
it was such, but anyway, I like everything because after that I gained the experience. Today I can go anywhere in any part of America comfortably. So within 5 months in America, I was able to drive a truck anywhere in America by myself.
Wow,
Lazima ukuwe mgumu sana hapa America. I have had so many experiences with the truck. There was a time I slept. I said I was going to Kentucky. Then I said, I started feeling sleepy. Then I said, it is just, I looked at the GPS, it was showing I am just 1 hour away to where I'm supposed to drop the goods. I said, okay, what I will do, I am going to persist for 1 hour, then I will sleep where I'm going to offload this thing. That 1 hour, it was around 2 a.m. at night. I slept. Then the truck was on auto control, moving at a speed of 70 miles per hour.
What?
And when you have put the auto control, you know, it just moves. For your work is just to hold the steering. I was sleeping. You can imagine what would have happened. So I was on the far end of the road, and this road had 3 lanes. So the truck moved from my lane to the second lane to the third lane. By the grace of God, I never hit any car. Then out of the road. Then I started, beating those bumps outside on the side.
Yes.
I was off on the grass. I started wondering, what is happening? Why is this? I woke up. Why is this road bumpy? Then I saw the grass was dry, so it was looking like carpet to me. At night, and you have the lights, the headlights. I thought, and how come this road has carpet? Do you know? When now I totally woke up, I realized I am not even on the road, and the truck is moving at a speed of 70 miles per hour. By the time I looked ahead. I saw where I was going to hit. I was going to hit some kind of there was a kind of a block
Mhm.
that separates the other road to the road that I was using.
Mhm.
So I had to turn the truck. So the rear part of the truck entered in a ditch, but I was not harmed.
Mhm.
So the
I'll tell you
policeman
one
gave,
thing. I'll tell you one thing. Man, Kenya people, you guys can talk. Woo! Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I'm
you
like,
are. All right. Can you say? Are you
man,
here? I thought you were
yeah.
sleeping.
oh,
No, I wasn't sleeping. I was listening to Jeff. I was like, woo, one thing about Kenya people, I'm telling you.
Jack, we've just noticed you here, but Guru was telling us his experience. Perhaps you can say something because you've waited there for a long time. Guru will not stop.
actually, we thought you left.
No, I was no. What happened was I left while Shira's house got in my car, so I was
Oh.
listening to. Jeff. I was listening to you talk all the way from Washira's to my house. I'm at home. I took a shower. I put my kids to bed. Told my wife I love her and everything. You were still talking. And I even took my dog. I took my dog for a walk.
And that's why we are here. We are here to talk, Mr. Black.
Then look at this guy is off. Now you see he comes in and out. So that's the problem with Jack. I mean, he comes in and out. He'll be back. I took his dog for a walk. We were still talking. Yeah. Oh my. Uh-huh. So, Buru, that story is so intriguing.
Where?
I mean,
The fact that let me tell you today what I normally tell drivers: whenever you feel you are becoming sleepy, just look for somewhere to park and sleep. Otherwise, you are going to die.
that is
You are
what
going to die.
I always do. Even here, you know, sleep is so interesting. If you have not slept 1 second, it is new singizi moja. It comes for 2 seconds, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Ni tamu.
And sometimes you
can't avoid it.
sometimes you force the eyes to stay open, so you sleep, but your eyes are awake. You know,
You are dead. The brain is
but
dead.
your brain is asleep.
The brain is asleep. Is when you realize, hey. And after that, you wake up the whole time like whatever has happened to you. Now you know, my brother
It was
from
such an experience.
you know, you are. Oh, you've already reached home. Oh my God.
Yeah. That's how long. Yeah, that's how long I was waiting for Jeff to talk.
What are you chewing?
Can you
Huh?
tell us your story? Can you
What
tell
are
us
you
your
eating?
story now that you're here?
Oh, Jeff, I'm just eating. What's his name? No, bachelor's meal. When you don't have a wife or a woman at home to cook for you, you eat bachelor's meal, man. So you got, if you know a woman that's trying to get married, yeah, let me know.
You are crazy, man.
No, but I was listening to Jeff the whole time. I was talking while I was driving.
So, Jack, I wanted to ask you a question.
Okay.
Now that you have been working with the prisons,
Mm-hmm.
there is something that disturbs me so much about the American criminal and justice system, about the felony conviction, that even after somebody has reformed, that person always keeps on carrying that baggage of have you ever been convicted of felony? And it becomes very hard for people to get jobs after they have had a conviction or a sentenced in felony in America. What can you say about that? Because it's like the system doesn't give people a second chance. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have so many homeless people in America, because they are not able to get jobs. You know, I have interacted with people here, and they tell me they can't get job because of they had a felony case. So everywhere they go, they are asked whether they have ever had a felony. Tell people about that. It will also help people to know how to go about it.
You know, a lot of times the people that saying this, you know, a lot of times from my experience,
Yes.
they never give you the backdrop to what led up to the decision. You know, people just don't end up, you know, some people go from misdemeanors to felonies.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the people who are saying this, they don't realize that you are being judged not just by the felony, but what
Yes.
led up to that felony.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times when you're talking to people who are caught up in those kind of situations, it's like the drama triangle. They don't give you the backdrop story. They only going to give you the story to put them in a situation like, okay, I'm the victim. The government, they are the bad guys. I need you to defend me.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times when you're listening to them telling you the story, they're not really giving you the whole story. I'm not saying, I'm not agreeing, you know, I'm always about second chances, especially, you know, being a saved person and, you know, knowing the Bible and believing in Jesus. I believe in that. But this world does not have that kind of, there's no grace or mercy in this world.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand what I'm saying. Because Jesus Christ said it, that if this world hates me, if this world hates you, remember they hated me first. You understand? They showed him no mercy. Jesus Christ never had a criminal record. Ever. The only time he became a criminal is when he took the sins of us. So a lot of times when these guys are really telling you their story, they're not looking for your opinion. They're not looking for anything else but, you know, put you in that drama triangle game. They're not going to give you the full story.
But now, just a minute. Do you believe that a bad person can change and become a good person? So does the system give these people a second chance that if you have reformed, then you are a free person to do anything, to do any kind of job? Because this thing of every time and everywhere you go, they ask you whether you have had a felony, and that now becomes the reason as to why you should not get a job.
It goes back to what I'm saying though, Jeff. You say, right? You believe that Jesus Christ came, died, buried, and rose again. You believe that, right?
I do believe.
Okay. So you got a second chance. Heavenly, you got a second chance. In the world, you don't get those kind of, it goes back to what I was saying previously. In the world, when you commit a crime, they don't forgive you. You can go on Google right now. Let's say right now, if I commit a crime, you can go on Google and Google my name, Jack Provençal, and the world is going to show you who I am, what I did. There's no forgiveness. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand. And that's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what I'm asking. Do you think the system is unfair to the people who have decided to reform?
This world is unfair.
Life normally, just like any other person.
It's not the system. I can see you keep redirecting me to the system. There is no system. There is the world. This world is unfair. There's no forgiveness. We can go to the system. We can go and do the political. We can go, how the laws are in this city or this state. This world is unfair, period. So when you do something in this world, there's no forgiveness. You understand what I'm saying?
I hear you. I hear you.
There is no forgiveness.
You're partly agreeing with how I feel. You're partly agreeing with my statement that people ought to be given a chance, because if you're a criminal today, does not
Yes.
mean that you're gonna remain a criminal forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my point.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, in this world, they don't look at it like that. See, you're looking at it from a different point of view. You know what I'm saying? Because number one, you are saved and your mind has been renewed. But when it comes down to the world,
They still remind you of the things you did in the
they
past.
are going to remind you every single day. There is no mercy,
And
there's
they
no
tell you,
grace, there's no love
you are the same person. You are the same
that you
person.
were
This is
yesterday. You can be a good, genuine person. Trust me. I've been doing this prison ministry for 13 years, and they are good people that I've met inside that prison. But when you look at their criminal record, why they are in that federal prison, like I'm trying to say, there's a difference between a federal inmate and a state inmate. Federal, I'm telling you, these guys are the most dangerous people that you will ever come across. I don't care if you're from Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. Do not play around with federal prisoners. It's the reason why the federals came after them. And these are the guys I deal with. I can genuinely stand here and tell you that these guys, for me getting to know them, they're good people. They realize they made a mistake. But the state in United States, not even a state, because they weren't convicted by the state. They are convicted by United States. When a federal, when we get charged with a federal case, it's going to say United States against Jeff Mburu. You understand that? It's not going to say the state of Virginia or the state of Illinois or the state of Kentucky. It's a United States. That means entire. So it's a different, you know, but like I said, like, you know, we're talking about.
Because I want our people to understand the system, the criminal justice system and how it operates. How do you distinguish between a federal and the state case? At what point does a case now become the state case or whatever, the federal case? Sorry. Yeah, Sirori, if you can be able to break down and let us know at what point does the case now becomes a state, a United States case? It's because of those things.
So,
That's
when the feds,
yes.
yeah, I was eating too fast, so please forgive me.
Slow down.
So this is like my cheese snack night. So I have a lot of snacks, you know. I still have that, you know, 8-year-old kid in me. But anyway, when the federals come after you, you know, basically, what state do you live in, Jeff?
Yes.
What state do you live in?
Oh, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, you in Missouri. So let's say, okay, you're a career criminal. You're doing things in St. Louis. Okay, that's a state. But when you are taking it past that state, let's say that you know me, whatever you're doing, let's say that you're doing something, any kind of scamming, fraud, or whatever. And now I live in the state of Virginia. Now you have involved me in the state of Virginia because now you have traveled whatever criminal, whatever you're doing has traveled outside of the state of Missouri, that's when the feds come in.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
okay. I hear you.
Now,
I hear you.
Now, if you keep it in Missouri, that's a state thing.
Mr. Okay.
But
Okay.
when the investigation is going past, then now you have Jack's name in it in the state of Virginia, and then 9 times out of 10, I'm going to have somebody else in another state. Let's say Maryland. So now, okay, now it's a federal case now. Now, as long as you, as long as you keep it in Missouri, that's a state. But now you've involved me, so now it's becoming federal.
Okay, I hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the question I was having in my mind. So, just a minute, Nick, where you were away, I was talking about the criminal justice system in America, where I feel maybe I might be correct, I might be wrong, where I feel to some extent like the system has not been a fair system. Because if somebody has ever been convicted of a crime of a felony, it becomes very hard for these people to get jobs. Because everywhere you go, they are able to see your record, and it shows that you have ever been convicted, and they use that as the basis under which they deny you an opportunity. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have so many homeless people in America, because when you don't have a job, you cannot be in a position to pay for your bills.
Oh yeah, I mean, federal cases. Those are cases being investigated or cases being prosecuted by the feds. Yeah, it is you against the country. So those cases normally they are investigated thoroughly, and in most cases you are going to be convicted, and there are high chances that you are going to be locked for so many years. Now, why these people are not allowed to come out and be absorbed in the society so easily? Just as Jack has said, these people are very dangerous. Dangerous criminals. You see, here in the US, let me tell you, there are so many things that happen, Buru, that you do not even believe or know that they really happen. Like, for example, did you know that there are schools that are meant for very, very rude students? Yani students like approved, but not really approved, but they go to school each and every day. They are very, very naughty. The only response that you can give when they are within you, they are with you, is to call the cops. If they are riding your bus, they are very, 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 very naughty, and they don't care. Just like those hardcore criminals who are convicted in federal prisons, it's very, very hard for them to be absorbed in society or even to get jobs at some point because of the crimes that they have committed. That is why each and every time they are even monitored. When Jack will tell you that they are monitored even when they get out of prison. If they come to an apartment where there are people, you are notified that this kind of person is within this particular area and he has been a convict. And Jack can emphasize on that a bit, why it is very difficult for them to be absorbed and to get jobs in a normal society. I really don't know. Jack would be in a better position because he's interacted with the prisons authority for quite some time now. Black Jack,
Yes, sir.
can you tell us why it is so difficult for these convicts who were in federal prisons when they finish their sentences, they can't get jobs easily? I think that law was changed sometimes by Biden. Biden did something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anything when you have a federal case, it's me. I mean, I always joke about this thing is when the feds get involved in a case, 9 times out of 10 is because anything to do with money. If the government is not getting, if you're operating any kind of criminal enterprise, and they are not, making money off, they feel like, there's money. Let's just say all of us, right? This like what? You got Leo, I don't know how to say that guy's name, Mice, the guy right there. Yeah, let's just say all of us are in the criminal enterprise, right? And we are making we're bringing in 30 million a year. Here's how the government is looking at it. They don't care about how we're making the money. If we're selling drugs and people are getting killed or, they dying off, they don't care. The only thing they care about is $30 million a year. Where is our, it's like, where is our cut? They only chase the federals. They care about one thing. When they are investigating, they are following the money. The state are the ones that follow after bodies. They want to know the murder bodies. They want to know, where's the gun? Where's this? The federals only care about one thing, the paper trail. Where is the money flow? How come we didn't get our cut? This is how they come. So once you get convicted in a federal, they're going to make your life a living hell in America. And they're going to make sure even after you get out, if you take a plea, let's say they offer you 30 years, and you take a plea, your plea 30 years, they might say, okay, out of 30, you do 15 or you do 10. Depending on whatever extra information that you give them, depending on who you are and depending on the information that you're giving them. Because really, they want the top guy. They don't really want you. So once you get out of the federals and you're trying to do right, everybody makes mistakes. They're going to keep an eye on you. They're going to watch you. They're going to make sure that everybody around you know who you are. That's one thing about the federals. They're going to make your life a living hell. So it's just, I feel for these guys that are, they get caught in federal cases. Because one thing about federal cases, I'm telling you, there is no mercy or grace in it. They're going to burn you. And then once you get out, they're going to make sure that you suffer. Because it's all about money. At the end of the day, it's not about getting criminals off the street. It's all about money. You look at Donald Trump. His case is a federal case. They chasing after the money. They're trying to connect Donald Trump to something. Everybody think that Donald Trump is the heavy hitter, but there's somebody else above him. That's it. So they are trying to chase him. Because I remember when I was going to the jail, there was a guy that was connected to Donald Trump, Paul Manafort. And I'm telling you that at the time Paul Manafort was at Alexander Federal Jail, every single news outlet wanted to talk to this guy. And it's amazing to me that you got a kid that grew up in West Africa from Ghana. I decided to walk into Crossroads Baptist Church and believe in Jesus Christ, that I have more access to him. And every single Monday and Thursday night, when I walked in there, CNN, Fox News, everyone wanted to get to him, but I had more access to him than all of them. You know, so it's a money game. It's a money game. They don't care about who you hurt. It's all about money when it comes to federals.
Wow. And Jack, Black Jack, are they going to get Trump?
Are they going to?
Are they going to jail Trump?
No. That's it. That's not good. It's all that whole Trump thing is just a show. It's a show because what Trump did in the first 4 years in the office, it exposed America for what it is. Trump really was put in that office, not by the people, not by us, you know, us taxpaying people that can, you know, go out and vote. Because everything I was looking at it from God's perspective, right? God put Donald Trump in that office for those first 4 years to expose America for what it really is.
Wow,
Donald Trump represents every single American. I don't care where you come from. If you're a taxpayer in America, Donald Trump was put in there to expose it. Every single thing that Donald Trump said, we all say it behind closed doors. We all say it behind closed doors. See, but the thing is, we think we're better than Donald Trump because he comes out in public and say it. But here's the problem. It doesn't make you better than him because you're saying behind closed doors, because you haven't been caught and you haven't been exposed yet. This is why I really respect Donald Trump. I respect him more than any president, including Barack Obama, because I like to know. I like to know who I'm dealing with. And one thing about Donald Trump, there is no confusion with him. That's one thing about him that I respect about him. I like to know who I'm dealing with. Donald Trump says stuff that Black Americans say about Black Africans. And you know there's that distinction there, and we hate to say it, and I know it's an elephant in the room, but we hate to say it. What Black Africans say about Black Americans, Donald Trump said. What Black Americans say about Black Africans, they say. What Black Africans say about Mexicans, Donald Trump said that. What Mexican people say about Black Africans and Black Americans, he says it. But the thing is, we need an scapegoat, and we made him our scapegoat of what is wrong with this world. Donald Trump is not what is wrong with this world. He just was put in that office to expose the entire world for what we really are. And I gave him that position. For me, I have no problem with that man. I have absolutely no problem with that man, because you know why? I feel comfortable around him more than any other president since I've been here since 1990. Because he says it and he does not hold back. So with me, that whole thing, going back to your question, like you said, what is going on with Donald Trump is nothing but a circus. Donald Trump is not going to jail. He's not losing any money. Do not be surprised if he wins the election.
What do you mean he's not losing any money? He's already lost 89 in those suits. He's now going.
Have you seen? No. But Nate, have you seen it, or are you listening to what the media is feeding you?
No. She paid the other lady $89 million.
See, it goes back to what I'm saying. Remember, this is America, Nick. Do not fall for the smoke screen. Did you physically see the evidence that this money was taken out of Donald Trump, or is this information that they feeding what you want to hear?
But now, Jack, apart
Because
from
you know America's famous for that.
Where will I see this lady came on the screen and said, she's going to enjoy her 89 million
But
dollar
Nick,
with
but
the
it
right
goes
of
back to what I'm saying. It goes back to what I'm saying. Nate, we are too small for this country. You know, do not fall for the smoke screen. Do not fall for the
So
smoke screen. America.
according to you, the judgment that was passed was false, and
Do you
it was just a play.
do you actually think
let
that
me
this whole thing is real?
let me read something for you here.
Mm-hmm.
That
Okay.
the former U.S. President loses a case, banned from serving as officer or director of any New York corporation for 3 years. And Donald Trump must, and this is what the judge said, must pay 354 million in penalties. Is that not losing money? And the word is must pay.
Must
Yeah,
pay. Do you, Jeff? Do you know how many bills that I get in my mail that tells me I must pay this? And you know how many times that I have actually paid it? And you actually believe this? This is America, Jeff. This is America. I get bills every day telling me, Jack Provençal, you must pay this. You know how many times that I actually paid? This is America. Don't fall for the bull crap. It's all a movie. This is all a TriStar motion picture movie you're living in. Don't let them cast you into it.
All right, Black Jack will come back to you. Let me introduce Mise at this point. They've been out there. Leo, welcome to the show. Good morning. Yesterday you left us in a half, just abruptly in the middle of the show, but thank God I was there. I was imagining if I was not there, what would have happened. But we managed to do the show all the same. Mise,
We can
Karibu.
only see the nose of Mr. Leo.
Mise, Leo is never
What
laughing.
do you want to see, Jeff?
We wanted to
My
see the
face,
whole of you.
my
Yeah.
full face is there. Good morning. It's a morning actually here in Kenya. I'm glad to see you people. You know, here it's some 30 minutes to noon, and people already coming out from the services. So it's good to get together and get talking to each other at this moment, and this one build some bonds back home here. So sorry for what happened yesterday. It really disappointed me when I was in the middle, not even in the middle of introducing the show. But I think God is great. You people are there, and things continued as if nothing happened.
Now, Leo. Now
Yes.
you now know the importance of an editorial team.
Yeah. If I was there alone, I'm telling you, Jeff, you would have woken up and you find the screens are empty and running, because once you start the StreamYard, it will always continue running. So whether you drop out because of internet or what, so the viewers will be viewing some some funny things over there. So it's really important to work as a team and as a group. That is what uh, team members are there for. So it's really good.
Exactly.
Though I didn't expect it, because I told you I have two lines actually. So yesterday, both of them failed. You know, I normally change quickly. If this one fail, I go to the other line. But yesterday, it was really horrible. But all in all, things were taken care of, and it went on smoothly as if nothing happened. So I'm great that you people have introduced some kind of good service here. So this is like a service. You know, I know when I was young, we would go to church to go and meet friends and meet relatives and show cause our new dresses and our new clothes on Sunday. So this is also another service whereby we can be able to meet friends and just talk on general things without limiting ourselves to specific topics. So I'm glad to join you this morning, and because I've joined late, let me pick from where you people have reached. Thank you.
Okay, Mise, Karibu sana. Welcome to the show. We have Jake Blackjack. Blackjack is a Ghanaian, so we need him to understand the language. So we are going to
Oh,
speak.
he's from Ghana.
Oh, yeah, Blackjack is.
I thought he's African American. That's why I'm
No,
trying
no.
to
No,
questions.
Blackjack
Yeah.
he should tell you
Mburu,
where he
No,
is from.
he's more of African American than Ghanaian.
Mburu,
Even
Mburu
his
keeps
accent,
interrupting. Mburu keeps
the way you talk,
interrupting me.
you don't
Jeff.
need to.
Mburu.
Jeff. I've been here. I came here when I was 10 years old, and I'm 43.
Yeah, you are
Yeah. So
American.
yeah.
Don't say you're
No,
African.
don't do that. Don't do that. We on the website. he's
The way
about to get. He's about to get
you
me
don't
lynched.
talk like you don't talk like one of us. You are.
Yeah. I mean, I've been here for too long, so.
Yeah.
Hey, Missy, say something, Mister.
Yeah, I want to say something, but Jeff keeps interrupting me. So I think you need to deal with him, Zalando, at the end of this because
Hey, let me see. Why
when
is Mister coming here with that kind of energy? What did I do to you? Come on, bro.
not black. Black, actually, I want to respond to what you wanted or what you just said, and I
Okay.
totally agree with something that Jeff asked you. First of all, it's good to have you on the show. It's good to have this kind of history and understanding of where we stand as a black people and what the criminal justice is and how does it affect us as a people, either knowingly or unknowingly. So for me, I like this discussion because this discussion cuts across not only us, but also to our generation, to our children that we are bringing up at the young age and even at an older age. There are a few things that you guys have been discussing here. And I want to pick it up from what the question that you were asked. And you said the law says you must pay. So that I just wanted to put a perspective. There is the law has two things. There is the spirit and the letter of the law. So the letter says you must. The spirit says, but yes, I'm supposed to pay, but again, we can negotiate. Okay, so there's the spirit that says you must, and that's why I want to agree with you. That is just but a show. There are many ways that you can go around it. It's an order that has been given in a civil court, but again, what are his rights? What options does he have? Can he appeal the decision? Or is this decision at the appeal court? Or he doesn't have the options? And that's why we are saying that we have to look at the law legally. We have to look at the law critically and understand that the law is not fair. Okay? The law is not as just as it appears to be. The law is influenced by power and money, and that's why all these people like Donald Trump, why do you think they are looking for power? They're not looking for power because they are looking for money. They are looking for protection and influence of their business and their interests. So, and gain what is called access to the world. When you are the former president, when you are the president, there are certain privileges that you get. There are certain information that you get that an ordinary businessman cannot get. And that's why most people get to power because they want that influence. So, yes, I wanted to put to you as well and support your last statement that the application of the law or justice is not just as we actually said. If you read the history of Lady Justice, you will understand a little more about injustice and justice. So another issue, another thing that I wanted, I came in and I heard you guys talking about, and this is something that will need us to go back and discuss some other day. But more importantly, I wanted to tell you that there is a rise or a wave in 2000. I think it should be 20, either from 2020, 2010, going up, where there's an increase in what is called prison industrial complex, where the government invested a lot, and where privatization of prisons that became business as a way of combating crime. And as a result, there was mass incarceration, where that there was overlapping interest of the government and the industry by using surveillance, in policing and imprisonment as a solution to economic and political problems. So these things were used, and as a result, and I want to use Arizona actually as a perfect example. And if you know the history of Joe Arpaio, you will know what he did in Arizona, the introduction of orange underwear and stuff like that. So there's a lot that we need to conceptualize to understand the system. And I agree with you that Trump exposed America of what it is actually. If we go back to Barack Obama, during the time of Barack Obama, a lot of people did not know or who really Barack Obama is. In the governance of Barack Obama, there was so much killing, but it was not out there because Barack Obama changed from boots on the ground to drones, where some, if you go to United States, they resorted to use drones and employed a lot of people who are controlling drones from where they are, from certain stations, in making sure that they have either killed, and that's how when you hear the story of Osama bin Laden and all that, you will come to learn how during the reign of Barack Obama, there was a lot of deportations as well. But however, it was very smooth. It was not done in public. More than any other president, Obama deported a lot of illegal immigrants, yet he appeared as a voice of reason and a savior of immigrants who were either illegally or had not met the threshold of remaining in America. So there's a lot when we talk about justice and injustice. But again, I wanted to talk about the overlapping, the interdependence, or the interconnectedness of state laws and federal laws. They don't disagree, or they don't conflict in one way or the other. So I wanted to at least make sure that I've mentioned that, because it's very key in this discussion. Thank you.
Well, just piggyback of what you were saying about that must pay. Have you ever lived in? Are you living in Kenya right now?
Myself?
Yes.
Yes, I'm Kenyan by origin.
No, I'm saying, are you currently living in Kenya?
No, not at the moment.
Oh, so you are in the state?
No, I'm not. I'm in North America though. I'm in Canada.
Oh, Canada?
Yes.
Okay. Now the reason why I made that statement is the thing with America, when you go to court, especially with dealing with money, they say, okay, you must pay this, you must pay. The reason why I made that statement is we don't live in a country where, this is not Iraq. This is not one of those, third world country dictatorship. Like, you have the choice It's like at the end of the day, when they say you must pay this, you have a choice. You can do the right thing and pay it off. But if you don't pay it off, they're not going to run into your house with guns and all kinds of ammunitions, and put you in a firing squad and kill you. So what I'm saying is this whole Donald Trump thing, it's all a show. $300 million. Donald Trump, I will guarantee he doesn't even have this kind of money in his bank account alone. He might have business that's worth that amount, but they don't expect for this man to, pay that. So to me, it just all a show. I've seen this movie one too many times in America. So that's what that's the point I was trying to make. So I don't want people to think, oh yeah, Donald Trump is paying $300 million. I'm telling you right now, chances are he would never probably pay one dime off of what they're telling you. It's just all one big show. Because America know that they screwed up and the whole world watched it. The entire world watched what happened. It's like they are reliving 9/11 all over again. The entire world watched America get bullied and get caught off guard because they always want to be the superpower, the bully that goes, so it's like with Donald Trump coming into the office, it's like they are reliving that trauma all over again. So all of this is just for it's for a show for the entire world to know that, hey, we're still America. We're all about democracy. This is what happens when people get out of line. They all full of it. So all I'm just trying to tell people, do not fall for the smoke screen. It's all a bunch of smoke screen. That's all I got, though.
I'm going to buy a bigger screen.
Yeah, because your smoke screen, I'm telling you, Jeff, do not fall for it.
Do you mean the smoke on the screen or the small screen?
No, a smoke screen. A smoke screen is just a term. It's a terminology that you know when people try to Jeff, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And they know for that.
Yeah.
It's a distraction of what they're really trying. It's something going on way behind that whole Donald Trump thing. And I'm telling you, America is very good at it. That's one thing about the one thing I respect about America that makes them more dangerous is they know how to put together a production and they will catch you off guard of what demonic situation they have planned behind what, it's just like, having a kid. When your kid is acting up, the first thing that I see parents do, I don't have kids, but the first thing I've seen parents do, they hand them a technology or play with the phone or play with the tablet because it's something else that the parents really want to do behind closed doors, but the kids are distracted. So in order for them to do what they have to do, they have to distract the kid. This is how America treat us. They will give you, and the thing we fall for is like, Elon Musk. Oh yeah, I'm building a Cybertruck. This is our new toy. Everybody focus on that. iPhone. Oh, we're coming up with an iPhone 21 or 22, 23. Focus on that. This is how they treat us. And then we fall for it. And then all of a sudden, something drastic happens like Russia attacking Ukraine or the Palestinian Israel. And we're like, what the hell just happened? Because you know why? That's how America treat us. They distract you. They hand us toys. And if you're not seeing it, I'm telling you, you're not going to survive in this country, man. I'm telling you. But I respect them, though. I respect anybody that thinks. I respect anybody that thinks. Not that I agree with them, but I respect it.
So, Jax, are you saying Americans are criminals? It's a criminal system?
Hey, guys.
In a soft way?
I mean, you look at what happened to the Native Americans. Go ask them. Go ask the Native American in Arizona. Do you think Americans are criminals? They can tell you better. They can tell you better than I can.
So
Go ask the black.
what I can conclude is that it doesn't matter the country in the world today. The criminal justice system is meant to punish the poor, but not the rich, because this also happens in Kenya. That the big people will never serve the jail term, but we see the poor people are the ones who are in jails. The same case here in America. There's people who suffer with those cases of felony, people who are helpless, people who don't make a lot of money. So it's almost the same. The criminal system is tailored to make the poor even more poorer or suffer, where the rich are protected no matter what they have done. Because I try to imagine what Donald Trump did, inciting people to storm the Capitol. If he was just like any other commoner, what would have happened to him? But today, you see, he is even likely to become the president again. I mean, that is the justice system that we have in the world today.
No, it's just America being exposed for what it always has been and what will always will be.
I can imagine if Jack, you were the one who had incited people to storm the capital city of America, what would have happened?
They would have went down to West Africa, right, in Ghana, and they would have found my grandmother. Probably lives in a village.
Mm-hmm.
The over 7 billion people in this world has never even heard of. They would have found her and executed my grandmother.
What did
this
you say?
Is what would have happened.
Wait a minute.
But
no.
Yes.
But Jeff is emphasizing that, and that's what I also said earlier, that there's no justice as it appears. Justice is just on the paper. Justice is just for the rich and the able and those who have the influence, power. That's so the poor person who steals something here and there cannot have justice. That is, and I agree with you. That's why someone like you who has no influence cannot go down. I mean, if that happens, yes, they can track you and know where you live and your origin and all your history from where you are, and they will punish you. So they are criminals hiding behind the superpower privilege.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know, like what Jeff asked me, if I was a black president, let's just say, forget all that. If that was the Barack Obama that would have cited what happened on January 6th, mind you this, I live 15 minutes away from Washington, D.C. I can literally walk from my house to Washington, D.C. And from what happened, and I looked, I said, man, what if that was what if that was Barack Obama that would have did what Trump did? Or what if there was a bunch of black protesters that would have done what they did? But it goes back to what I'm saying. America was exposed through Donald Trump. God put Donald Trump in the position to expose this country for what it really is. So instead of me looking at it, you know, like, oh, how in the world did this man, you know, win this election? It started off as a joke. Nobody believed it. I look at it in a whole different perspective. God designed it that way for Donald Trump to get into that office because he is a judgment. He's a judgment for America. He judged America through Donald Trump, and he still is. All that, oh, united we stand, divided we fall, land of the free, home of all of that stuff. I'm telling you, it's slowly but surely is coming down, and it's going to end with Israel. It slowly but surely is going to end with Israel. The moment that America take the hand off of Israel, and that's when everything's gonna go down. And slowly but surely it's coming. It's like I keep saying it. But with me, I don't wake up in the morning and I don't watch CNN. I don't watch Fox News, CBS, and all none of these media news outlet. I don't. I'm a man that studied the Bible. I don't read the Bible, I study it. So I'm already equipped by the creator of this world what is happening. So all of these things that is happening, and when people ask me questions, I'm not moved. I'm not shaken by it because God has already told me what is happening. So with me, I just find it to me, it's like how does Shakespeare put this on? He describes his play, one of his play, Romeo and Juliet, as a tragic comedy. That's all it is. Everything that's happening to me, that is happening in this world right now, it's a tragic comedy. Because God has already told me.
Guys, almost you guys are running out of the screen. You're leaving me on the screen. But anyway, on the same note, Miss Blackjack and Jeff Buru, there's something that is happening in Africa. I don't know if you can weigh on it. What is the role of this organization called the African Union, or could it be that we've been seeing the European League and those kind of organizations, and if you look at those other continents, they're really helping, they're really relevant when it comes to economic issues and even the political issues. Our own Africa, I remember we are having the African Union. Do we normally feel its presence? And now that people, the seat or the chair, the chairmanship is going to fall vacant, and one of our own is also bidding for the same seat. That is Raila Odinga is also bidding for the same seat. So what is the possibility of him clinching the seat vis-a-vis those other guys from different parts of Africa are also interested in the seat? Could it be that this is the East African moment that we can be able to stand with our own? Remember, in East Africa, we are having like 11 countries. Then if we get the support from the western parts and the southern and the central part, then we are good to go. Already we are having some goodwill or some ambassadors in the Western Africa, led by Olusegun Obasanjo. So what is your take, you guys, on this? Will East African through Raila Odinga manage to clinch this seat before we look at how relevant it is in Africa? Maybe I'll start with Jeff as we move in that direction. Nimeongea hiyo maneno and sorry, I've seen Jeff. I've heard that and he really came back faster. Maybe he's an interested party in this.
No, no, Leo. Today I'm just a tired guy here on the screen. But I think first of all, the fact that we have a candidate from Kenya is a good thing, and chairmanship of all those African nations is a good thing. It's a great thing, and maybe Africa, we don't have much weight on the global arena, but if we have the right person, of which I don't know how he's gonna perform. So, but if we have the right person to spearhead the interest of Africa, then I think we can be felt, we can be heard out there. So, and I think Raila Odinga can do his best. So I pray for him, as I said, to win that position. Honestly. And if not him, though he has already declared his interest, still we had another candidate by the name of Uhuru Kenyatta. Either of them can do a very good job. So apart from our political differences, these are Kenyans. And when any of them wins or becomes great, we all become great for the interest of our country and for the interest of Africa. That is what I can see. I can say as I try to get the momentum to enter into this debate. I remember last time I was here, it became so much heated. So I wish it will be the same today.
I
Okay.
think Mise is here. I can, sorry, Mise is also here. I just want him also to weigh on the same before we look at some other things. So Mise, do you think it is the East African moment this time round?
I don't know what you mean by East African moment when it should have been a Kenyan moment.
Okay.
The candidate in question, as I don't find him very successful in his own country. So when we are talking about the continent of Africa, we should first experience the leadership from our own country. The leadership begins at home, but his style of leadership is mad with chaos and um, uh, so I don't know if he's gonna be characterized with the same chaos at the AU. I don't know if he's going to mobilize people to go on strike when things are not working and so on. But I want to believe that he this is something that he should have started long time ago. I think overstaying in Kenyan politics, I think, has taken a lot of points from him. I want to believe that I would recommend Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta because he seems to be a sober and objective person compared to Raila Amolo Odinga. I think one of the things that I find in Raila Amolo Odinga is not per se the solution, the actual solution of the people, but rather self-gratification on how high or what is the highest position that he has held in his life. I find like that is the strife, and I don't find genuine motive for him to progress the people that he intends to lead. If that was the case, the issues of corruption wouldn't have be rampant in our country because it does wield a lot of power and influence to fight such huge enemies of progress in his own country. So I still think that he needs to stay within Kenya and try and continue to push for change before we send him to the East African not sorry, to the EU, sorry, the AU, African Union. So that is my feeling. But if you ask me, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, I think, is a very sober mind and a very versatile person and of diverse opinion that has got or can or someone who attracted a lot of people during his reign, and I believe that he is someone who can get along any other person. Is a team player. I don't think Raila is a team player. I think it's most of the time it's either his way or you hit the highway, or you have to come to the table and negotiate, and then unachukua serikali ya nusu mkate mkate. Such things I don't know if they are going to be in the AU, and that's what I'm thinking for now.
Misa, I think you're also bringing in a good debate, and I've also heard people say so that Uhuru Kenyatta can also fit in the same seat, and having some good connection and good relationship with those uh, his counterparts. He's a former president, and most of the presidents that interacted with in the region, they say that he's having some good relationships, and they even claim that even the current president is not relating well with the members of the Eastern Africa. Those guys in Eastern Africa somehow fear him or somehow see him differently. And they say Uhuru Kenyatta can make it, and maybe the only thing that can stop Raila from making it is when he is fronted by the current president, whom they see as a bully. So, but in this case, Uhuru Kenyatta have not expressed his interest. So should we force him to express his interest? Because so far it is on Raila who confirmed that he's going to present himself.
Yeah, if Raila has gone first, definitely Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta might not show that interest, because for the respect and to show, and not to show kind of kurushiana maneno between him and all that. It will create certain tension that is not there. But again, I think you're mistaken. William Samoei Ruto is one of the most appealing young leader who has appealed to a lot of African presidents. You saw when he was suggested to be the chairman. Once he was presented to be given the opportunity to hold a certain position, he waved it out for the Comoros guy, president. And William Ruto, if you listen to the conversation about building Africa, investing Africa, uniting Africa, a lot of presidents are really attracted to how brilliant William Ruto is, the ideas that he has, the boldness that he has, the shrewdness that he has. When it speaks with a lot of wisdom, to the extent that a lot of people want to keep listening to him again and again. I was looking at one time they were having a conversation, his presentation vis-a-vis the presentation of Kagame. Kagame knows, Kagame is a dictator in his own country, but Kagame knows how to use the European countries and bend backward so that he can get resources for his country. So that means because of that, he might be biased in articulating issues that are affecting East Africa, African nations or the African continent. So that's why I believe that people like William Ruto have done very well. And because they've done very well in speaking to the hearts of other presidents, if we have someone who is very close and who has worked closely with William Ruto, who has no other interests, like Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, I think they can do very well. And I give this example because I want you to go back to how Barack Obama worked with Hillary Clinton, okay? And even after when Barack Obama chose Hillary Clinton as the Secretary of State, they were working very, very well because they had a one common agenda. The other person was Joe Biden. When Joe Biden was the vice president of Barack Obama, they worked very well. He supported him wholeheartedly because he understood the agenda and the manifesto of Barack Obama. And vice versa, I'm sure Barack Obama is supporting Joe Biden wholeheartedly in implementation of his manifesto and so on. But anyway, I'm just thinking that William Ruto, if they work the same way they worked when they went in the first term, before the second term came and they had to go separate ways for political gimmicks, I think they can work very well.
I get you. Back to the country, we've seen this kind of call has really gained momentum, and for sure, we've seen so many people, even the ones that we did not expect, that are going to support him. The people we believe that are his close critics, and the people we believe that some would have believed were his enemies. We saw some encouragement and some support from the people from his own party, that is Azimio coalition, and all of them have been coming out saying that, you see, Raila is the best. Only for us maybe to get surprised yesterday when we saw the ruling party, the UDA party, said that they're in support of that, and today they're having some parliamentary group meeting to endorse that, and they say they're going to pull all the resources within their reach to ensure that Raila clinched that seat. So what do you have to say about that? Because people expected that maybe people from UDA who've been opposing Raila, who've never believed that he can become a leader, yesterday they showered him with some praises. If you just allow me, I think I'll play for you just a video on how they were showering him with some praises. So what changed, or what can we say about this, and maybe at the politics that we've been playing? We've always believed that if I publicly attack you, then we are enemies. But what happened yesterday was different, and Kenyans were shocked. How comes UDA is speaking that language that ODM is the one that should be speaking?
The ruling United Democratic Alliance, or UDA party, has formally expressed support for opposition leader Raila Odinga's bid for the African Union Commission chairperson's position. Now, UDA's Secretary General Cleophas Malala heaped praise on the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party boss, terming him a true Pan-Africanist. Malala said that the President Ruto party resolved to back Mr. Odinga's bid was not a political decision, but rather a patriotic one made to raise the country's profile and image on the continental scene. Kenya Kwanza will retreat tomorrow to Naivasha for a joint parliamentary group meeting chaired by party leader President William Ruto to, among others, take a position on backing Odinga for an AU job.
And as a coalition, and as a party, specifically the ruling party, UDA, we have decided to put our foot down and support Raila Odinga from the sky, on the land, in the sea, whichever place and whatever avenue that we may be having. We will put our resources to support the candidature of Raila Amolo Odinga.
Raila was on the forefront of the greatest leaders who have championed the entrenchment of the tenets of democracy and the rule of law. Today, as the continent goes into deep waters, seeking the emancipation from perpetual dependency on external supports, a man of his stature has the capacity to chart our path and that of Africa to great height. In my capacity as the Secretary General of the ruling party, I wholeheartedly support his bid. I also urge our party supporters and our general membership to support his candidature.
Yes, you've heard it. Let me start with you. I don't know why you're laughing then, but we'll be able to know.
Let Jeff start, because
Jeff,
me and Jeff know why we are laughing, because this is hypocritical. Hypocrisy.
I also believe, I think this is hypocrisy of the highest order. Why all of a sudden?
Let's Jeff start.
That is Malala. Jeff.
Yes, sir. It's just laughable. And they say that when you see your enemy, let me say, whether political or a genuine enemy celebrate you, then you have a reason to worry. Because these are serious rivals. But the fact that they are fronting Raila Odinga to the extent of almost campaigning for him to become the chair of AU, it can mean so many things. One, I want to say that it's somehow hypocritical, but at the same time, they want him to go because he is a headache to the UDA party. So that's how I can say about that. They just want him to go because he is a trouble to the party, and they know if he goes, they will at least have some peace.
So they are celebrating. They are not celebrating that they want to support him to win, but they're celebrating because him winning is going to release him, or is going to make him get out of their way. Like you want to get in a house and there is a soldier there who is taking care of this house. And when the soldier is there, you can't be able to access this house. So when you hear that this soldier can be given some leave or can be excused to go home and rest, then you are going to support that, not because you want the soldier to go and rest and be with the family, but because you want the soldier to allow you access the place. I get you, Mise. That is what Jeff is saying, that these guys are celebrating because kuna venye, there is how Raila has blocked them, or there is how Raila is stressing them somewhere, is preventing them from doing some other things. So they know when Raila gets out of their way, then they'll have time
a smooth
freedom.
ride. They will have a smooth ride. The issue of bipartisan agreement will be water under the bridge. See, if you play that clip, they're almost laughing about it, you know. Look, just play around where in between, just play it again. I'll tell you where to stop, and you will see the sarcasm on the faces of these people. And that's why I'm telling you that
the ruling United Democratic Alliance, or UDA party, has formally expressed support for opposition leader Raila Odinga's bid for the African Union Commission chairperson's position. Now, UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala heaped praise on the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party boss, terming him a true Pan-Africanist. Malala said that the President Ruto party resolved to back Mr. Odinga's bid was not a political decision, but rather a patriotic one made to raise the country's profile and image on the continental scene. Kenya Kwanza will retreat tomorrow to Naivasha for a joint parliamentary group meeting chaired by party leader President William Ruto to, among others, take a position on backing Odinga for an AU job.
And as a coalition and as a party, specifically the ruling party, UDA, we have decided to put our foot down and support Raila Odinga from the sky, on the land, in the sea, whichever place and whatever avenue that we may be having. We will put our resources to support the candidature of Raila Amolo Odinga.
Raila was on the forefront of the greatest leaders who have championed the entrenchment of the tenets of democracy and the rule of law. Today, as the continent goes into deep waters, seeking the emancipation from perpetual dependency on external supports, a man of his stature has the capacity to chart our path and that of Africa to great height. In my capacity as the Secretary General of the ruling party, I wholeheartedly support him.
Now you can see. You see how they are laughing about it. Sarcasm. They, like Mburu said, the moment Raila leaves, there are a lot of people, even the people from his own party, who want to even being able to relate with the current government. They will have easy going because now Raila will be busy dining with the big boys, you know. So and Raila, it's the statements that Cleophas is saying that the decision to chart for that position is a patriotic decision. That is laughable. That is so stupid. That is not patriotic. You know what is patriotic, Leo? Is to fight corruption in our own country. You know what is patriotic? Is to champion for creation of employment for our youths in good infrastructure. That is patriotism. That is to make sure that Kenya as a country, port to port, we are connected. If you know, a country that is a country, a well-developed country, is a country that is connected port to port, you know, through railway, through sea, through road, you know, physical road, and so on. So that is the country that people work tirelessly. People sacrifice their lives to make sure that work is done for our country, and you know, legacy is left behind, even when they don't have anything. Those are the people who are called patriotic. You know, people like Fidel Castro, who fought for their own country. people like that president who had a beetle. I don't know, Mburu, nimesahau the country. He had a beetle with one dog, and he didn't take money from the state. It's from one of the South American countries. Those are people who are patriotic. People who are not looking for higher positions. People who are not holding a country hostage so that they can be given what they want. That is patriotism. I don't see that patriotism in Raila. I mean, he used to be, but he became overzealous and ambitious, and that patriotism left. So I don't agree with what UDA is trying to do. Is good riddance. Hata siku ingine tulikuwa tunaonanga even in school, ukiwa na mtoto mbaya sana hivi, they are transferring the teacher, the head teacher or the principal anamprosesia haraka sana, anasema enda, anampatia hata good recommendation aende because it's good riddance. That is what the UDA are doing for Raila Amolo Odinga. What the heck do you think they will put someone like Osoro, who was beaten by Simba Arati? What interest do you think he has to support Raila Amolo Odinga? Zero. They are saying you are a problem to us. Every time we are trying to steal or to do certain things, you are here. You are poking your nose into our business. Please go. Watamfanyia hata mchango, utaona, and they will trivialize that. Unaona? So we want Baba to stay. We want him to mentor other leaders. We want him to fight for the cause and of development in our own country by ensuring that we have fought corruption, which is the greatest impediment of development in our country. And once we see corruption diminishing, that is patriotism. Patriotism is supporting William Ruto's agenda and saying, I know you and me wanted to go for the top seat, but you beat me, you won, and I'm here to support you to succeed in implementation of your manifesto, because we have one country, and that country is Kenya. That is patriotism.
But Mise, when you say patriotism is supporting William Ruto's agenda, I hear so many people saying that if, for example, today Raila joins William Ruto, they say that is betrayal. Remember what happened when Raila joined Uhuru Kenyatta to support his agenda? What was said? They say that is betrayal. He betrayed the people who voted him by joining William Ruto. So what do you say about that? It's what's happening outside here. If maybe today Raila joins William Ruto, they'll say that is betrayal. And you are saying it is patriotism.
Do you think when Raila joined Kibaki, that was betrayal?
When Raila joined Kibaki, actually that one was a different situation, because in 2007, 2008, there was some civil or some tribal clashes, and the country was really bleeding, and this one was intervened by even foreign emissaries who had to come to Kenya and put these people together and told them that, you see, now you people have to work together. They had to alter the constitution and come up with what was called the National Accord and such kind of things. So Raila didn't just wake up and walk and say, okay, now I'm shaking hands with Kibaki and we are working together. Different from what happened in 2018, when one day people just got shocked to see Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta at Arambe House shaking hands and saying that from today we are going to work together. So that was different.
Leo.
Yeah. So what can happen if today just Raila wakes up and say, okay, today I'm working together with William Ruto? Are you not going to see people making noise everywhere that you see Raila, you betrayed us, or you see you?
No, you're going
the
back
opposition
to
is dead.
You're going back to what you said before. I'm just asking this simple question. It was tribal clashes was one of the reasons why they came together and decided to work together. And even though there were external people who came from outside, like Kofi Annan, to help them come together and work together, that was failure on our part. Do we have to wait for someone to come from outside to unite us and to show us that we can work together? Do we have to wait for a serious tribal clashes for us to come together? Aren't the people pleading right now economically? Don't we have a lot of youths who don't have jobs? Don't we have a lot of youths or old or seniors who don't have proper or good healthcare coverages? These are some of the reasons that should bring us back and bring us and unite us for a common goal. Our common goal is to provide services for the people of the Republic of Kenya. Our common goal is to build Kenya. Our common goal is to market Kenya. You don't have to go to AU to market Kenya or to make Kenya proud. Our common goal is to be able to accommodate one another, even when we have different ideologies or when we have different political interests. We put them aside and we say, let us leave our differences aside, put our differences aside, and work together, because you, Jeff, you are my brother. Despite the fact that you come from Central, you, Jeff, you are a Kenyan. Despite the fact that you're coming from Nyanza, Leo, you're my brother. And we only share one country. Our country is Kenya. And Raila Molo is a brother to William Ruto by virtue of being born in the same country. And that is patriotism that we are looking for. But it doesn't have to be that if you don't give me this, I can't dispense or I can't bring my what do we call my recipe for problem solving. That is where we go wrong. And that's why I stopped having the passion for Raila, because every time we go to the ballot box, when we come out, we have to go for maandamano. He has to contest, he has to say ameibiwa. Mbona yeye asiibe? Mbona yeye asiibe? Kama kuiba ndio kwenda kwa nini? Kama kuiba ndio kushinda. So that's why I'm saying he is very insincere. Let him stay. Hatutaki aende, wacha akae hapa, wacha akoroge. Kama kukoroga serikali ndio itafanya serikali ikuwe functional na it deliver on its mandate, let him be here. That is his purpose. That is why we are paying him, because that's why we are giving him free security. That is why we are giving him free mafuta ya gari. That's why we are giving him intelligence report. And that's why we're giving him a lot of benefits as the former prime minister. Hakuna mahali anaenda, hatutaki aende, tunataka abaki hapo nyumbani. Hakuna kazi, hajamaliza kwani
Mise, umesema hakuna mahali amtaki aende. So somebody is talking of why do you fear being Raila orphan? That is somebody's concern, because they're saying the people who don't want Raila to get out of this country are people who are going to remain orphans in the absence of Raila. They're arguing that Raila, he's so influential to a point that Mise, if he takes you today at a certain market in Siaya and holds your market and say, this is huyu ni Mise, huyu ni Jakisi, huyu Jakisi atakuwa mbunge hapa. Whether you had some huge support there, it's obvious people are going to elect you. We've seen people like Junet and so on and so forth. So people are saying that those kind of people are the ones who don't want Raila to leave, to exit the scene, because they still want to benefit from Raila holding their hands. And we are going to have Raila orphans. For example, if you come from Nyanza, there was a certain powerful and influential politician who was called Nyachai. Nyachai would give direction and people will follow him. So immediately Nyachai exited the scene. Today, you can go to the southern parts of Nyanza, that is Kisii, the Gusii region. It is out for grab. Raila can go there, he can be listened by a section of people. William Ruto can go there, he can be listened. So the community or the people that believed and that were following Nyachai, there is no more patronage there. So in Gusii land, it's anybody can go there and grab the votes there. And like when you come to Nyanza, they'll tell you, Baba amesema nini. So the same happened when people like Kijana Wamalwa died in Western Kenya. So Western Kenya are no longer united under one person. Anybody can go, you'll find that Raila is having his base. Anybody can walk in and grab votes there. So could it be that people fear that when Raila exits, then they will not get that benefit? Can Missy, can you be able to hear it?
I'll let Jeff go. He's been quiet for a while.
Let Jeff tackle that. Then I also want to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, what was the question for Leo? Because I
The
thought you.
question is, Mise is telling us that Raila should not go, Raila should remain here. Could it be that Mise is one of the people, or like the people who really depend on Raila to hold their hands on elections? They really depend on Raila to support them, so that when Raila will now leave, they will remain orphans because there will be nobody to hold their hands.
You see, for me, I have a different opinion because when I look at Raila Odinga and his kind of politics, I see someone who does not embrace democracy. If he was the leader of UDA, people like Toto would never have become leaders because only people who are closer to him get the tickets of the ODM party or any other party that he controls, like the Azimio. Mostly, let me say to a larger extent, I don't want to say 100%, that's what happens. So with him not being in the political scene, it means the people of ODM and other parts of Kenya will realize real democracy. They will have no one to handpick them. They will have no one to give them direct tickets. So I think it will, for me, I would agitate and support those who are saying, let him exit from politics, because I'm one of those people who are very tired of Raila's kind of politics. Yeah, that's what I can say. We should not be having people being handpicked, being supported so that they become leaders. We want to see people compete on a fair ground. That is democracy. So what has been happening in ODM is dictatorship, which we need to change that kind of politics. Yeah. Mr. Leo. I don't know who is making you happy.
Yes.
Leo,
I'm getting you. I know your point of thought is different from Mise. You are one of the people who believe that Raila should go, and you are in the same group with the Osoro and Malala, who are saying that you people are ready to mobilize in the waters and above the sea.
Yeah, that's why we are campaigning for him, not because we love him so much, because we want to take troubles away.
But Mise is genuinely, I think Mise genuinely loves him, and that is why.
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah, he does.
No,
he
no,
does.
no.
We love him as a person.
Okay, we want
By
to
the
remain
way,
with
let
him
me clarify something. Let me just clarify something. People think that I hate Raila Odinga as a person. I totally have no differences. But I hate his style of politics, his leadership style. But as a person, I love his humor. I love his charisma. I love everything about him and jokes and all that. But when it comes to politics and the level, the extent to which he can go, that is what puts me off. He has no limit when it comes to the level at which he can fight for the position.
But that is politics, Jeff. You know, in politics, the formula doesn't matter. What matters is you remain relevant. And for those people who read,
no, it matters because it matters a lot. You cannot hurt your country in the name of politics or position or remaining relevance. That
is why most of us are not in politics. If you look at most politicians, some of them, politics doesn't have a set rules that you have to do this. What matters, and people will tell you outside there is as long as you can remain relevant in politics. There are people who've been people like Museveni. How did he get to power? But at the end of the day, we celebrate him. He's a powerful man. He knows how to protect power. He knows how to keep himself there. That is what happens. Yes,
Leo, that is. Don't give bad examples. Okay, politics is good governance. Good governance looks at the basic tenets of democracy, just like Mburu said, to influence or to appoint or to endorse is to negate the spirit of democracy. Okay? And Raila is very fond of that. And look at the people that he has appointed or endorsed. These are people who are corrupt, you know. Look at one late governor, uh, uh, my governor, what was his name? Nyagarama, you know. Even after Nyagarama building a gate of 7 million, that was ridiculous. Still, Raila endorsed it. Okay, so look at Junet Mohammed. Even after Junet Mohammed ate the money for the agents, still Raila praises him, okay, and entertains him. So the people that are around Raila Amolo Odinga are not people of sanity. That is why we don't like him. You cannot preach water and drink wine. And you're saying that's how politics is. Politics is not like that. Politics is about good governance, good politics. We are talking about good politics. And if we talk about good politics, we are talking about good governance. And if we are talking about governance, we are talking about good policies, policies that trickle down to affect the livelihood of people. That's why you go for leadership. When you go to leadership, you look at the security, you look at healthcare, you look at infrastructure, you look at education, and so forth. The quality of life must be good. That is the basic reasons why we have to elect leaders, to bring diversity in their leadership and the country to flourish, to have good economy for good quality for common man. So that doesn't sit well with the with Raila Amolo Odinga. He used to, but not anymore. And there's something you mentioned about Nyachai. Actually, nobody really listened to Nyachai, even in the years when Raila was in Kenya, Fort Kenya, right? When when Nyachai broke and created Ford people, still the Kisii people still voted for Ford Kenya. Okay, we still had people who voted for Ford Kenya. The pattern of voting in Kisii has never been uniform. Has been never like one what they call one.
They've never put their votes in one basket, huh?
We've never put our votes in one basket. We always put either 41% or 50%, 41-51 or 50-50. Sorry, 49-51 or 50-50. The reason why we do that is because the Kisii community has invested, just like the Luya, the Kikuyu community have invested so much outside. And because for fear of being attacked, either by the Kalenjin, by the Maasais, by the Luos, who are our neighbors, and other people, the Kikuyus in Nairobi, we all try to vote and balance. That is the
wait a
pattern.
minute, Mise, did you say people vote for fear of being attacked? So does it mean that is what determined how somebody votes? Because if you vote in this way, you are going to be attacked. Really?
Of course, there is. If you remember, there used to be a lot of. There used to be a lot of tribal clashes. When you go to Nyangusu, the border between the Maasai and the Kisii, there used to be a lot of problems, especially during the Olentimama's time. Okay, there used to be a lot of fighting that resulted to you go fight and you steal cattle and bring them back, and then they will come to follow and things like that. But those things have since been outgrown. But think about, there was a time in Rongai, there was a Kisii member of parliament who was opposing this guy who was in security. Is it Ole what? the guy who worked under what is his name? I forgot. I forgot his name. He's still the member of parliament of Rongai or Kajiado. There was a wave where the Maasais went and wrote leaflets saying that if you're not voting for Ole something, what is his name? I forgot his name. MP for Kajiado. I'll tell you his name.
I get you, Miss. And somebody is
So
asking a question there that, yeah.
So that is so that is Sunkuri. Yeah, Sunkuri. Yeah. Sunkuri was actually another menace who brought a lot of tribal fightings and all that. So that is why we are saying that the people vote because they don't want to be evicted from where they call home now. We are saying Raila's style of politics. Mother Karua once sometimes back said that she does not admire Raila's style of politics, and that's why we are saying that today it's hypocritical of Mother Karua to be standing as the deputy principal of Raila Amolo Odinga when she declared that she doesn't like the politics of one Raila Amolo Odinga.
We can't hear you. Somebody has asked a certain interesting question there. I don't know who will answer this. That on a sincere note, can anyone of Azimio principles make to pull even to a quarter of the crowd who used to come to Raila rallies? Jeff, unaweza mjibu hiyo?
Currently, no. Raila Odinga has been in politics for quite some time, and he has built himself so much that right now nobody in ODM can be in a position to pull the crowd like he does. It is a good thing for him, but sometimes it works against the country, and that is where, for me, I say his being popular sometimes does not help the nation. Remember, we had people who used to pull crowd, people like Kenneth Gido Matiba. Matiba was tougher than Raila Odinga. I know during the Matiba's time you cannot comprehend that because maybe you were a baby or you were not born. But let me tell you, Kenneth Gido Matiba was very tough than Raila Odinga. But he was tough, and he used to say things as they are. He was tough in talking and telling people, criticizing the regime of Daniel Moi. When mentioning the name of Moi, everybody was afraid of it. But I never saw Matiba mobilize any kind of violence. He would call demonstrations, and even Central Kenya, we used to have demonstrations, but peaceful demonstrations. No shops would be burnt, nobody would be stoned, no cars would be burnt, no roads, okay, they used to block roads with stones, but largely the kind of protests we used to have those days was peaceful demonstrations. But now here comes Raila Odinga. For me, I call him the father of violence and chaos and hooliganism in the nation of Kenya. Because we also had Mwai Kibaki for a long time. In fact, Mwai Kibaki tried many times to become the president of Kenya. He was an opposition leader. We never saw the kind of violence that we have witnessed in the time of Raila Odinga. And that is where we part ways. So Whether you pull crowd, it is a good thing. But do you have the nation at heart? Because for me, I feel, yes, Raila Odinga has made his contribution. But when I look at the damage that he has done to the country, if somebody can be as open and as genuine as myself, because I believe I am, I see the damage and the harm to the country is greater than the good things he has done. That is how I see it. Because whether you say somebody is a dictator, or whether you think somebody is not supposed to occupy a position, or you think you have won, that should not warrant anybody to die. Not even a child, Mr. Leo, should die because Geoffrey want to become a president or any other position. So when I see somebody, even when people are dying, he uses that for political mileage. It defeats logic, because for me, I value life so much, and anything that can lead to death, I would avoid it. But Raila Odinga doesn't care. When I tell people we are going to remove the president from power, he doesn't care what is likely to happen. And he knows very well that at the end of the day, there is going to be serious crash. And he goes ahead. And even I don't see him telling people what they should do to avoid the confrontation between them and the police. What he does, he fuels the animosity between the police and his supporters, so that everything becomes violent, and then the international community intervene, and so that he can have a position in government. When I see that kind of leadership, when I see that kind of politics, that is why I say myself, I am one of those people who have really gotten tired of Raila style of leadership, because we have seen politicians before eyeing the same position, but with totally different angle or approach, without hurting the nation, without hurting the economy, not hurting businesses, not scaring away investors. So it is very important that we be mindful. As much as we want to become leaders, let us be mindful of our country, because Kenya today is perceived as a violent nation, as not a good place for even investors to come and invest their money. And that's why we have a great level of unemployment, because private people and outside people are the ones who bring jobs. But what happens? The other day you saw, and maybe we can get that clip, maybe because Leo might not be willing to get that clip. You will see Suluhu, President Samia Suluhu, telling his people that this year, that was 2022, she said, this year we have received so many investors because in our neighboring country, there is chaos, there is war. People are running away from Kenya and they are going to invest in Tanzania. That doesn't bother Raila Odinga. That doesn't bother the Azimio team. In fact, they get happy about it. It is not me who said it, it was the president of Tanzania. So, and then when the economy is not doing good, they criticize the government, whereas they know that they have contributed to the downfall of our economy. Those kind of things, that kind of politics is what pisses me off. And I say,
I'll give it to Mise, and before I give it to Mise, I think it was in record when business are running to Tanzania. It is because of our taxation policies, including the policies that we put in place that scare these people away. And even currently, you know that Uganda are also planning to be getting their oil directly from Tanzania and such kind of things. I think this one doesn't have anything to do with the politicians, but it has something to do with the government policies. I just got something interesting, maybe that I just wanted to put across before I welcome Misa. I know Misa will weigh on it better. That if I maybe look at the Republic of Kenya, that is post-independence. We've had some massacres where the government have really, people in power have really mishandled people, and a lot of lives have been lost. Like the first one in 1960s, during the Kenyatta's time. We had the Isiolo massacre, whereby 2,700 plus Kenyan Somalis were killed in Isiolo massacre. Civilians of Kenyan Somali community murdered by the Kenyan security, by the then President Jomo Kenyatta. We had the Kisumu massacre in 1969. Jeff, I think the story that you know, when there were some clashes over when Jomo Kenyatta attended the opening of the then Russia hospital, the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Referral Hospital. Over 100 citizens were killed by the police during the Kenyatta regime. After that, we had the Garissa massacre in 1980. That is in the northeastern province, whereby over 3,000 Kenyans died. They died. These were Somalis in eastern Kenya, and this incident occurred when the Kenyan government, acting on the premise, they were trying to flush out the people that were called the Abdi Madobe. Yeah, you know what happened. After that, the one that is fresh in our minds, 1984, we had the Wagala massacre again. You know what happened? The Kenyans of Somali ethnic lost their life. We've had several massacres that and several deaths that have been caused on innocent citizens by the government in power. So I want Mise to say something of this. You said that I think Raila's political character is that one mad with some form of violence. Maybe before we go to the history of violence in this country and such kind of things, though we also know if we can be able to look at some of the demonstrations that these guys have led personally, you'll find that the people always move peacefully until maybe people get tear gas and such kind of things. But we've also seen some demonstrations which have been done independently without them attending or without them getting involved, and it turns out to be chaotic. And that is why even the police have never found it right to call these people into question, because they were never participating. So this one, I think, Mise, being a lawyer, a legal expert, you can be able to give us your opinion on that, the politics of violence and how somebody should take responsibility. You even saw what happened in 2007 general election. I know you come from Nyanza. Most people from Nyanza are the ones who really they were victims innocently. We had the people from Nyanza being killed in Naivasha, Nairobi, and major towns, and even reaching Nyanza and Kisii was really hard. But there are specific places that people had some planned violence, like the ones who are fighting in Rift Valley, and it turned out that these guys, they just used politics to fight their land issue and such kind of things. So Mise, I'll give it to you, even as we try to wind up the politics of violence. We have been told that if Raila exits, then we will not see the politics of violence in this country.
Yeah, absolutely. There are people who believe, and it's good that Kenneth Matiba was mentioned. You know, Raila is always seen as the one who has fought for democracy of this country. There are a lot of people, Martin Shikuku, Kenneth Matiba, many people who vote for that, who championed, who challenged Moi, but they are forgotten. It was not Raila alone. People say that Raila Amolo Odinga alifungwa jela na akatezwa akafanya nini, but even Kenneth Matiba did, alichapwa akatezwa and all that, but again, we don't remember. We have not even named anything after him. We have nothing to remember our heroes, the people like Kenneth Matiba, Martin Shikuku. We have nothing. So that's why I say that the politics of violence has no place in our country. And if anything, if we are going by Chapter 6 of the Constitution, the fact that you participate and organize for demonstrations that turn out to be violent, you should be held accountable. You are the one. Actually, that is how, when you look at, I think it's chapter 35 or chapter 35, I think, Article 35, that talks about the freedom to assemble, freedom to picket, or something like that. I don't remember. But you see, there is always a procedure on how you should go for demonstration. You should ask for permission. You just can't wake up one morning and say we are going for demonstration. You have to go and report to the nearest police station. The police station has to oversee that. So, and Leo, I'm just surprised that people always blame the police to start throwing the tear gas, to be the ones who are provoking the people, and then the people respond. That is not actually true to the fact. The truth is, when the work of the police is, when they give an order, you must respect the order. If the police says stop, you are supposed to stop, right? So that is why, and that's why we go wrong. That's where our people go wrong. When the police say stop, you can't go beyond this place because you are not planned. Okay? When you go to the police station, you give a route that your demonstration will take. When these people come, there are people, of course, who come and they take advantage of they take advantage of the demonstrations, and they steal and harass people along the way. The work of the police is to enforce law and order, to protect those who want to come for demonstrations and those who are not interested. So, for example, I think, and I like Douglas, what you're saying. The boy was killed in Nyamasaria last year by the police. Oh, that was Toria Jaffa. Look at it. The police are provoked. The police will respond. The work of the police is to make sure that we don't set bad precedents. The police, the ratio of police versus the multitude ni kidogo. Maybe one police to maybe 20 people. Okay? So if you are having a crowd that is charging towards you, the police are human beings. They have damu inakimbia, wanaogopa pia. Even though they are trained, they still can react. But more importantly is that if Raila says, mkuje kwa maandamano, msilete furugu, mtu yeyote mwenye analeta furugu, mkiona mtu analeta furugu, shika yeye, chapa yeye. It will be so. Lakini wewe, you've struggled the rest of your life, umenunua basi ambayo imeajiri watu wawili, watatu, ama watu watano. Then Raila calls for a demonstration. Then hiyo basi inachoma. Wewe unabaki, labda your insurance, labda, certain things insurance is not covering. Wewe unabaki, you're struggling. Wewe umestruggle, ukaenda Gikomba, ukaleta mboga na nyanya na vitunguu. And that's the only money or capital that you had. Mtu anatoka mahali, anachoma, ama anamwaga hiyo mboga, ama anaiba.
And again, Mise, we've seen in this country, some leaders have come out to tell us that, you see, the government normally does some kind of hooliganism so that they can get ways of implicating the opposition or the people who are demonstrating. Because they say, okay, the demonstrations might be peaceful, and the government does. If the government needs a way of banning demonstrations, you can't ban peaceful demonstrations. So they normally organize. Government is possible of doing anything because we say the government controls the monopoly. They have the monopoly of violence. For example, the former Nairobi governor told us how the government, as a government, they used to get cars, they used to get vans and ban them and claim that the people who are demonstrating are the ones who've done that, only not to gain sympathy, but for them to get away of using violence, or to get away of saying that, okay, because the demonstrations are not peaceful, we are now banning them. That is what a rogue government can do.
Do you trust Sonko?
No, he proved it, and we've been in Kenya.
No,
I know where you are.
Do you trust him? Yes or no?
I trust Sonko. Sonko's evidence made it a certain judge. He even revealed the corruption that was happening in our courts, and up to date, the judge was implicated. So Sonko doesn't speak without evidence. So the only thing is that he is a man who doesn't keep secrets.
My question to you,
Yes.
If Sonko admitted that they commit such crimes, why is not Sonko arrested?
So that is what we need to say, that in our country, specifically Africa, if Sonko was living in America, or was living in Canada, he would be behind the bars because he
No,
admitted committing
that's
crime. But
that's not
he's
that's
in
not.
Kenya.
But I have a question. I have a
Yeah.
question for you, Mr. Leo. Does the government give the ODM supporters stones and the sticks that they carry when they are going for the rallies?
Stones and sticks don't burn things. So stones and stick doesn't produce fire. So
If you
we
are
don't have cases of
responsible,
people being
you
stoned.
see,
People are
Leo,
talking of vehicles burned.
don't just argue for the sake of argument. Let us
No, there's one
have
thing
a
I've
voice
told
of
you is this.
reason. Let us
The
have a voice
stones
of reason. The
Stones
voice
and
of
sticks
reason.
don't produce fire. So the issue that we're talking of things
So
getting burned down.
no,
Since when did
no,
you hear a stone and a stick producing
no.
fire?
You see, Leo, don't
Yeah,
just.
Stones are actually, Jeff. Stones are just like you see Masai carrying their rungus and their pangas. Do they attack with it? So there's nothing. There's no law that prohibits or stops a Kenyan from walking with a stone. These are people from Mjengo, you know very well. When these people go for demonstration, some of them get out of work. They were in Mjengo. What do they use in Mjengo? They
So
use
wanabeba
the
stones
stone.
from Jengo. So
When teachers are
Leo,
demonstrating, they carry chalks and pens. When nurses are
Leo,
demonstrating, what do they
sometimes
carry?
you
So what Mjengo and then demonstrate, they carry their tools, they carry the
you
stones,
you
they
just
carry the
talk for the
hammers.
sake of you just talk for the sake of talking, and that is the difference between me and you.
No, really,
Because I
Jeff,
don't just
you need
talk
to
for the
be
sake of
realistic.
talking.
Eh?
I talk
I,
for the sake of
I get you.
helping the people.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I want to believe that
Yes.
responsible leaders
Yes.
have responsibility.
Yeah.
Responsibility number one is to educate their supporters and to control their supporters on what they should do and what they should not do. The
Yes.
fact that these people go to the rallies, and you know very well that they are not supposed to carry weapons, and they carry weapons, and their leaders are there and they're happy about it. And I have never heard anybody from ODM or Azimio fraternity telling their supporters it is wrong for you to carry these weapons because they are likely to harm somebody. That is where we part ways.
So,
So,
Jeff, maybe I know we are not parting ways. We are Kenyans. Number one,
no,
when Raila
no,
calls for demonstrations across the country, we are having 47 counties. We are
and
having
now,
several districts. How many Railas do we have to go in each and every county
listen to
to
me.
tell these people that this is how you have to do it? Number two, there
Listen to
is no
me,
law in
Leo.
this country that bars somebody from walking, carrying a stone, or lifting a stick. Misa is a lawyer, will agree with that.
It's because you don't take time to read our laws and
There's
our
no law,
policies
Misa is
and our
here, that
procedures.
prohibits somebody from carrying a stone. People carry stones while building. When you see students demonstrating, what do they carry? When doctors are demonstrating, what do they carry? Their tools, items of trade. So when you see those
You
builders,
are
what
going
from
too
Jengo
low.
demonstrating, they need to
That's
You
carry
are going too
stones.
low, Bonario.
Leo,
Bonario,
Leo,
Listen, we
Leo,
tell
that
kind
us
of
is a
here.
misplaced
argument
argument. That's a misplaced
is
argument.
just ridiculous.
Yeah, Mburu, that is a misplaced argument. Yes, people carry their tools of work. That's a fact. But are you telling me everybody who comes to that demonstration, they come from Jengo? I lived in Kibera, Mburu, and Leo, and I can tell you, for the many years I lived in Kibera, when it's maandamano at Makina pale kwa DC, inakuanga ni chaos. It doesn't matter whether you are Raila supporter or you are not. When the boys are determined, watakunyanganya na hakuna kitu utafanya. So that's what we are discouraging. And it's true, when people are going for demonstration, they need to work with the police. And let me tell you, there is a coup that happened in 1982. Okay, and Leonard Mambo Mbotela alikuwa anasema serikali ya Kenya iko mikononi mwa majeshi ya nchi ya Kenya. Kakuja akageuza akasema serikali ya Kenya iko imara chini ya uongozi wa rais mtukufu. Now there are people, once they say, people listen to them. Raila is one of them. Okay? When Raila says and gives direction, his people will follow that. If Raila says, mtu akikuja kwa mkutano na akileta kinyokonyoko, chapa, utasikia people have done exactly that. Why hasn't he used that influence and power that he so willed to say, ukiona mtu anaharibu mali ya mtu, kama tunaenda for demonstration, stop it, stop him or chapa him. Or mbona hajasema ukiona mtu anafanya corruption, shika yeye, mulete? Hatujaisikia akisema vitu fighting corruption. All we hear ni nusu mkate, nimeibiwa kura, nimefanya nini.
Bwana Leo, for the leaders who are corrupt and who are facing charges, they go and have a handshake with Raila Odinga, and that is it. They get protection. They get protection that side of. So when I hear people praising Raila Odinga so much, I wonder whether really they are open to see things in the reality. Raila Odinga is.
So are you trying to imply that this Raila is so powerful that he
is so corrupt?
Like forgive those people? Like
your Raila is so corrupt because
he controls the ruling.
He controls half. He controls. He controls half of the Senate. Sometimes he has more senators.
When it comes to corruption,
what it means,
judiciary.
What it means,
an abuse to Mise. Mise is a legal expert. Mise knows very well that if you are corrupt and your case is taken to court, the only person who will decide is the judiciary, where we are having the magistrates and judges. So saying that Raila
you are doing a lot of omissions. Like you don't know what forms the government.
An abuse to judiciary.
Listen to my argument.
I expect Mise to protest.
No, listen. Listen,
no single individual has got power to pardon you when you are charged. Yes.
Listen to me. Listen to me. This is what I'm saying. Yeah. The ODM leader controls half of the Senate. Sometimes even senators on his camp are more than those of the other party. And not only that, he controls sometimes half of the National Assembly.
Yes.
So what happens when governors are charged or high-profile people? They go through the Senate. What happens? He tells them what to do. And that is why when Waiguru was accused of corruption, she had to go and see Raila Odinga. And all these other leaders, you know that is information on public domain. They go Raila Odinga so that his side of the party can support them, not to be kicked out of office. That is not what I wanted to dwell on. I wanted to say this. When people talk of democracy, you cannot talk of democracy with Raila on the same sentence. For me, I see it totally differently. Because there is no democracy, even in the party that he leads. So if you cannot be democratic in your small party, what if you become the head of state? Sometimes I think because, God looks beyond what people say, and he is able to see the motives and the heart. I think that's why he has never even gotten an opportunity to be the president of Kenya, because he is not a genuine leader. We have had genuine leaders in the Republic of Kenya who placed the nation of Kenya ahead of their personal interests. But the interest of Raila Odinga is always ahead of the nation of Kenya. And that is how he has ended up harming the nation more than how he has helped the nation of Kenya. So I want to remind you, Bwana Leo, we had people who actually, we don't even talk about them, but in our hearts, especially for us who have been there for quite some time, that we know these people were genuinely patriotic. These people genuinely loved the nation of Kenya, and they wished to see nation of Kenya thrive. We have people like Kijana Wamalwa, people who never advocated for any kind of violence, but they articulated the problems of Kenya without fear. They criticized the government where the government goes wrong without fear. We had people like Martin Shikuku. We had people like Koigi Wamwere. Koigi Wamwere, if there is somebody who has suffered in Kenya, he is one of those who have suffered. But can I tell you, he was not
Koigi
so.
Wamwere is still alive. This guy have suffered, and if you're telling me that good people
Let
are
me
rewarded,
finish.
Raila have not
Let
been
me
elected
finish.
because he's not genuine.
Let me
Why
finish. Let me
haven't people elected Koigi Wamwere? He's been vying
to
each and
become
every
what?
time.
To become
He's
what?
been vying in Nakuru
You
each and
see,
every time to become a senator.
he was not fighting. Listen to me. He was not fighting to become a leader. He was fighting to see a better Kenya.
But he vies every time,
So,
or you do. Koigi
listen.
Wamwere is there.
So
Even next
let
election,
me
you'll see
finish.
him.
Let me finish. You can have your lame argument, but let me finish what I'm saying. So we had people like Moi Kibaki, people who genuinely loved the nation. We had people like Muskari Kobo. We had people like Kenneth Jido Matiba and Reverend Joya. People who genuinely, they gave it all, but they were not pro-violence. The problem, yes, Raila has fought for democracy, but he is a violent leader. That one, that tag of a violent person can never go away from Raila Odinga. And that is where I say this man has harmed the nation of Kenya. This man has chased away investors. This man has placed Kenya, the nation of Kenya, in a very awkward position whereby one day I was carrying somebody in my car and she asked me, "Oh, where do you come from?" I told her I come from Kenya. And she said, "Oh, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry." I asked her, "Why?" "Because I see how Kenya is. You people are fighting all the time. Thank God." She told me, "Thank God you're in America. Thank God you're in America." I mean, she felt that I am safe because I'm away from our violent country, Kenya. Who has made our nation to be perceived like that? Nobody else. It's Raila Odinga. He has no limit when it comes to fight for his positions.
Jeff, I think Kenyans sometimes need to wake up. We've had organizations and people who've caused more harm to this country than even those things you call the demonstrations. If you look at the number of lives that have been lost by demonstrations, they can't even reach 100. We've had people who led sects called Mungiki that terrorized this country for decades, and such people are forgiven
I
up to date.
think Leo,
Up to
you
date.
are,
We've
you are
had
digressing.
Chinkororos and their
Leo,
leaders.
Leo, you
We've
are
had
digressing.
pastors like this one who recently killed, massacred people at Shakahola. Such people are holy and people don't talk of them.
And that is
So,
why Mongeke are his good friends today. That's why he enjoys being on the same team.
Mungiki is no longer there. That is somebody who got saved. And anybody who preaches the religion of salvation and still
So,
can't, people forgave Maina
that is why Mongeke and Raila
Leo,
Odinga
Mungiki was
they
used to kill
love
Raila's
each
people
other
in
so much
2007, 2008. He forgave them.
because
He forgave them.
their principles are the same. The principles of
Forgave them.
violence.
Raila have never led any sect. We've had Al Shabaab and even their sympathizers. Aden Duala is currently the CS who once stood to support them. These are people
but
who've
Raila has led the
killed
sect,
so many
the
Kenyans.
ODM sect. So, so you are
Yeah.
saying that. But anyway, I wanted to tell
The
you that there
ODM
is
that
something
was
that you
violent
said,
was
Leo.
under the leadership of
Leo,
William Ruto. That is 2007,
Leo,
2008. That people
Leo,
who managed to kill
Leo,
people in Rift Valley, led by William Ruto. That
Leo,
sect
you
of
are moderating. Don't be
yes.
so delusional.
I just wanted to remind you people that the
We
violent ODM of 2007, 2008, led by William Ruto, that committed crimes in Rift Valley, iliisha when Ruto left ODM.
No, but
that was the violent sect.
Let's
that
go back
used
to what
arrows
you
and
said.
bows. Yes.
You said that we don't have laws in Kenya, and I want to read for you under the Bill of Rights, Chapter 4. I want to read Article 33. I want to read to you the freedom of expression.
Read it, bro.
I want to read it, and it says every person has the right to freedom of expression, which includes freedom to seek, receive, or impart information or ideas, freedom of artistic creativity,
Can
and
you try to be
academic
more
freedom.
louder, Mr. Mise?
Am I not louder?
I can hear you.
Now you are.
Okay, so every person has the right of freedom, expression, freedom of expression, which includes freedom to seek, receive, or impart information or ideas, freedom of artistic creativity, and academic freedom and freedom of scientific research. The right of freedom of expression does not extend. Now, this is where I want you to hear. The right of expression does not extend to propaganda of war, incitement of violence, hate speech, or advocacy of hatred that constitutes ethnic incitement, vilification of others, or incitement to cause harm, or is based on any ground of discrimination specified or contemplated in Article 27, Subarticle 4, and Subarticle 4. In the exercise of the right of freedom of expression, every person shall respect the rights of others. Okay? So now, and let me go back. Let me go to Article 37, which talks about freedom to assemble peaceably and unarmed. And I think it's Douglas who was saying that when you come to the police, you must come unarmed. The sticks, carrying of stones and sticks is not an indication of an armed person. It is actually an indication of criminals coming to commit crimes. So it says every person has the right to peaceably and unarmed to assemble, to demonstrate, to picket, and to present petitions to public authorities. Now, that's not what we see. The police have the right to be armed. You don't have the right to be armed. When you're coming to demonstration, the police are put in a very awkward position where they have to defend those who are coming for demonstrations and those who have no interest for demonstrations. And when you provoke or when you bring a slightest provocation to the police, they react. So
I get you.
If you know that you're coming to the police and you know, provoke or start a provocation for them to react, I think it's wrong. And that's why
I get you, Mrs. So now do me one favor. I know not today because of time. I know we've clocked 4 hours. Next time I want you to get for me when you talk of somebody getting armed, I want to get for me where stones and sticks, even including the cooking sticks or the firewood that we collect in our village and carry them openly, is classified as arms. Then secondly, I just have this question.
No, you are wrong.
You know somebody.
Wrong. Let me tell you.
I've said not now.
No,
not now.
No.
Okay.
Wait. You cannot even. Do you know that by law, even pointing someone a finger like this, okay, this finger can be classified as a weapon. Did you know that? That is why if you point,
then that one means if you go for demonstration and you point at police and say haki yetu with your finger, that is a weapon.
No, if you go to Mburu and you push him or push him with the finger, Mburu can defend himself because he will consider your finger as a weapon.
As a weapon.
Okay. Good. So now, why am I telling you that? When you come, this is a weapon. Okay, a pen. This is a weapon. Okay. Good. And if I push this, I exert pressure to your body, it will cause pain, it will inflict pain, and anything that is likely to be used to inflict pain or to cause pain, that is a weapon. So what you have to know, the Constitution does not explicitly, you have to know, implicitly and explicitly say or give down a breakdown what is a weapon, because the Constitution, the word armed means you come as you are. You come peaceably. It's very clear. You come peaceably unarmed, which means you are calm, you can chant, you can dance, you can do everything. You can come, you can carry placards and everything like that.
I get you.
But you cannot carry things that are sharp objects, something that can be used. A stick is a weapon. A stone is a weapon. Okay? So if you do that, the police has a right to respond with a tear gas.
Thank you, Missy. I know next time we are going to explore much on what how these demonstrations can be done. And as we wind up, you know, they normally say we are in Africa. We need not to relate what is in Europe or what is in America with Africa. What happens is these governments in Africa are normally tough-headed. In Africa, you can't. I've seen people demonstrating in America. You just walk and get back home. In Africa, that one doesn't have any effect. Actually, you can demonstrate the whole year. And they say this. I'll just have to tell you. The main reason why people demonstrate is to irritate the government. You irritate the government. You ensure that the government can feel pain. How does the government feel pain? You ensure that the government doesn't collect revenue. So by the moment the government doesn't collect revenue, the government will have to listen to you. That is what has always happened in Africa. In Africa, the government will not stop oppressing you simply because you are putting on placards saying Black Lives Matter the way it's done in Africa. In Africa, you have to ensure that the government feels some pain. The government is not human. How does the government feel pain? They don't get the revenue. Number two, you paralyze everything. Malema told you and gave you how people should demonstrate. You ensure that no government business is moving. If the government loses, and that is why I say Kenyans still don't know how to demonstrate. If I was in a position of Raila and those people calling for demonstration, I would ensure that all the roads are locked for 1 week. No movement. No movement. I'm telling you, the government will listen to you the very, very same day. Raila and his team still doesn't know how to paralyze a government. What they're doing is they're playing with government with some friendly gloves. Wana demonstrate leo, kesho amefungua. Demonstration gani na kazi imefunguliwa? That is not demonstration. We people saw how Africans fought for independence. Jeff, you know the activities of the Mau Mau. Were it not for those ruthless activities of the Mau Mau that led to loss of life and business, we will not have gotten independence. So we cannot praise the Mau Mau for having fought for this country, for having done things that made us to get independent. Then again, come and tell those people who are demonstrating that you need to demonstrate pole pole. That is being insane. There's nothing called civilization. We need to put this kind of thing that we need to demonstrate in a civilized way. So that is my parting shot. I'll allow you guys to give your parting shot. I think it is 10 minutes, 4 hours, 10 minutes. That is really too much.
Yeah. So maybe let me go first, and then because the referent must always come later and pray and bless the and sanctify the water. So you do not mistake go slows with the demonstration. Okay, your characterization of causing pain to the government is actually misleading, because when you cause pain, you don't punish the government, you punish yourself. In fact, if you are talking about the government is the president is on a payroll, and the payroll of the president does not stop, because of the economy that is not doing well. The civil servants neither do they stop getting their pay if the economy is not doing well. The package of the president, the retirement package of the president and the deputy president does not stop to be given at the time, at the lapse of their tenure in office. So go slows can actually do better. Go slows does not cause damage and violence. In fact, we should engage more on go slows by not going slow in buying certain products, going slow in doing certain things, and that can help us more than just the violence that we have witnessed over a period of years. So, Mr. Liu, you have been misleading the public cunningly in support of Raila Amolo Odinga, who is the king and master of violence, who is the king and master of granting immunity to those who have gone, who have gone, against the law, and they seek to be sanctified and purified by Raila Amolo Odinga. Na wanakuwa weupe, just like the perfect example you gave about Anne Waiguru, and so many others. So, my friend Leo, when you come back, let us agree that Raila has contributed immensely to the downfall and decline of democracy and development of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you. You are on mute, Jeff. Jeff, you are on mute. Unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much, Mise, for your contribution to the show and for your time. Leo has gone out. I think that he was outside when he was joining the show. So we are going to end the show. Thank you so much, our viewers. Remember to subscribe to Afric 24, both on our YouTube and also follow on Facebook and our TikTok. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We will be having so many other shows during the day. Mr. Goodyear, thank you so much for being together with us in the studio and always following Afric 24. You are one of the staunch supporters that we have. Douglas, thank you so much for your contribution on the comments section. And yeah, let's continue supporting Afric 24. This is where we come and we feel at home. We are given chance to air all what we have in mind, regardless of the parties that we support. So thank you so much, and God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we are going to have other shows during the day, and I want you to keep on checking. Make sure you click the button, the bell, so that you can be having the notification every time that we go on air, so that you don't miss anything. Some things you can only find them in Afric 24. And even when you want to come and join us in the show,